Once the police have convinced the white public that the so-called Negro community is a criminal element, they can go in and question, brutalize, murder unarmed, innocent Negroes, and the white public is gullible enough to back them up. This makes the Negro community a police state. This makes the Negro neighborhood a police state. It's the most heavily patrolled. It has more police in it than any other neighborhood, yet it has more crime in it than any other neighborhood. How can you have more cops and more crime? Why? It shows you that the cops must be in cahoots with the criminal.
Welcome to another episode. This is actually going to be the Nick, Rome, and CJ show. So welcome to another episode of the Nick, Rome, and CJ show. I'm one of your hosts. I'm CJ. What's up, Nick?
What's poppin', my friends, my family? We are back again. Another edition of the Nick, CJ, and Rome show. We had to bring my boy Rome for this one. We had to hit Rome like, bro, we need you for this live stream. We need it because I honestly, you guys know how Rome is. You guys know how CJ is. I don't know who's gonna be the hottest person in this stream because we're done. And this is the message of the RBN community. I want to say this right now. Right now, if you support the NATO proxy war and funding Nazis, you are not on the left. Let me raise that. If you support funding the Azov Battalion in the West and the NATO agenda, you are anti-black. Are we clear? And I saw Jimmy, he responded to one of my tweets where he's like, yeah, the people, I said, just for communication basis, I was like, the NATO left, and Jimmy correctly stated that if you support the war in Ukraine, you support NATO, you're not on the left. And I 100% agree. We need that energy. And we don't have a large community. I was talking to CJ about this earlier before. As many people as we reach, we need to wage war against the NATO left. It's this whole illusion that you guys think, I know our community is based, but for the most part, it's illusion that progressives think that they're this united coalition because they think it's 2019. It's over. It's over. If you are still hanging on to the Bernie coalition, that shit is done. That shit is over. The Bernie coalition is dead. Okay? You have half of the fucking Bernie coalition. I'm using simple numbers to keep it simple. But you got fucking half of the Bernie coalition that's following along with the neocon establishment. And,
I'm real.
And what pisses me off the most, I'll pass to you, CJ. I wasn't. Yeah. Maybe I should have started right.
No, keep going. I'm just chiming in like in church.
The same people, and we had to debunk the Red Brown Lions bullshit how many times? They would call the real left Nazi supporters, Nazi sympathizers. Oh, you want to collaborate with a Nazi because we want to march with healthcare with our neighbor. Punch a Nazi. Everyone who votes Republican is a Nazi. They went from that to quite literally arming neo-Nazis in Russia. That is currently, I got videos. Zoya sent me this insane video. They were literally assaulting ethnic Russian Ukrainians, and even Ukrainians that speak Russian. So with the Bernie Sanders NATO left, and this fuck that we see debate Bree, we're gonna get to that very soon. They keep pretending that they care about Ukrainian lives. They are the biggest scumbags on this planet. They don't give a fuck. So the Russian Ukrainians, I'm gonna show you guys this video later, that is attacked, and it was in the video I'm gonna show you guys. A small woman was speaking Russian, getting attacked by the Azov Battalion and Nazis in Ukraine. Anyone, and this is what they don't tell you in the mainstream media, whenever Ukraine go on their offensive and take land from Russia, what do you guys think happens to the people who supported the referendum in the eastern Ukraine being part of Russia? Or what happens to let's say 85% of the people in the Donbass who wanted to be independent? Ukraine is going into these territories and purging and attacking any Ukrainians that resist the Kyiv regime. They ban all opposition parties, except the fascist ones, only the socialist ones. They went after workers' right to UN organize. So how funny the Bernie, AOC, the progressives, the big union people, they love Zelensky, who literally stripped the right for Ukrainians to UN organize. We're done. And I'm gonna emphasize this. It's not even just done. We are going to war. The black left, as far as we can reach, our allies, you guys see our allies, we're going to war. Because they going to war against us. Anyone who tells the truth.
Think about what's happening.
Go ahead.
Think about what's happening. They're choosing to team up with people who don't have their policy beliefs, meaning the Democratic Party, to target leftists, real leftists. That's what they're doing. Is it not?
Exactly.
What's up, Rome? What's up, Rome?
Oh no, I see y'all kicking it off already. I'm like, shit, let me hurry up and get my ass downstairs.
Yeah, we didn't even make no announcements yet, but this is like, because you know why, Rome? Because this has been simmering. We've how many streams we've done on the NATO left? How many times have we covered the things that they're doing, Nick? Like, we cover this all the time. So it's only a certain amount of time. A certain amount of times we're gonna do a stream where we keep pointing stuff out like this, and then it's like, well, at what point aren't they left if they keep doing this? At what point does that happen?
I've been looking at them right in their face. I'm not trolling. I'm literally telling them people they are Nazi sympathizers. The Ukrainian flag, people that respond to shut up, Nazi sympathizers. I don't care. We draw on line. You're not on the left. We are making our argument. We are building our army, and we are trying to defeat these people. No more even hinting that we are on the same team. The number one priority for us right now, because the weakness of the institutionalized progressive left, Medicare for all is not happening. All student loan debt being canceled, not happening. Free public housing, not happening. The progressive policy goals are not happening. The number one priority we have right now is fighting the police state, fighting the military-industrial complex, and securing our survival as we build a revolution. Anyone who stands against that is our enemy. We don't vote for them next week. Do you guys understand? Next week is a midterm. I don't want to see. We're not going to do what George said. Well, I don't tell you guys how to vote. No, none of us vote for the Democratic Party. Are we clear? If you do, watch our streams and hang your head in shame, because the Democratic Party is propping up the police state. The Democratic Party is propping up fucking NAFO troll bot farms to spam black commentators with racist bullshit. I got it, Rome got it, we all got it, because we speak out against NATO. And if you are a white leftist, a Latino leftist, or anyone who have any sort of solidarity with the victims of Nazism, the victim of the police state and the Democratic Party, you can't vote for these people. If you do, you're condemning us. You're condemning the global working class. Because look at the protest, CJ. And I'll pass right to you. I'll pass right to you.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Look at the protest. AOC protested. Rashida Tlaib protested. Ayanna Presley protested. Jamal Bowman protested. You want to know their answer to us calling them out funding Nazis? Nah, we good, bro. We got this shit. We got to keep funding Nazis. We don't give a fuck what you guys say. We listen to Massa, Nancy Pelosi. And the reason why I say this is because I want you guys to know the project is done. The project is over. And not that we have small disagreements. And not that we just left infighting. They are our enemy that must be defeated. But CJ, go ahead.
Yeah, no, what you're speaking to is that the professional managerial class is marching the left off of a cliff. You see why it's so important that we're here? Do you see that, Rome? Do you understand if this voice wasn't here, what would be happening here? What would be happening?
If it wasn't for us, sorry, CJ, but if it wasn't for us, Bree be all on her own. All on her own. And by the way, all the quote-unquote woke, progressive leftists that's in the Bernie Sanders movement, CJ, how many of the Ryan Grimms, how many of the Jordan Sheritons, how many of the Cenk Uygurs have you seen come out in defense of Bree and going after the racist NATO trolls, going after her and other black commentators? None. No. Remember what I said? No solidarity on the left, especially among white leftists when it comes to black commentators being smeared. Literally, they called her subhuman fascist. The Nazis in Ukraine are calling black people who are advocating for peace subhuman fascists. Where's the anti-racist progressives? What did DS say? I know that, like, it's only our side. It's only our faction that was defending Bree. Only us. I don't see anyone. I don't see the people who disagree with R being like, man, I don't agree with Bree on this issue, but I think you guys been out online. All the things she was doing advocating for peace. None of that, because they chose our side. They watching our sideline smiling. Look at Bree. They finally getting this motherfucker. They love it. Anyway, CJ, go ahead. I got a lot of things to show you guys. There's a lot. This one main topic literally may take over an hour, for like 90 minutes.
We gonna scratch the other topics. We might as well scratch the other topics.
Yeah,
like,
it's about to take a while.
Yeah, just scratch that shit off. We scratching that shit. So if you're waiting here for one of the other topics, that's gonna be done tomorrow. I'm just telling you right now because I'm looking at the shit that the shit that I got to show. Like this is gonna be a while here. So let's get to the logistics of the show. So let's like the stream. We do have a good amount of people. What do we have here? We have 300 people here. So can we make sure we have at least 200 likes? We want to get as many people in the conversation, and we're talking about because there's going to be people from the people who have the Ukrainian flags. There's people here. That's for that discussion. I made sure I inserted the all of the information to join this discussion into those tweets. But we're at 168 likes, so all we need is another 30 more, and we're there. If you're here and you want to be notified when we do streams like this, like if you're watching this on replay, or if you're getting here late live, join our Substack and you'll get notifications generally 30 minutes to 2 hours before our live streams go live. This was where we were at yesterday. So let's give you the update. And if you're here, subscribe. Whether you love us or you hate us, you'll enjoy at least the discussion we have. So that was yesterday. I'll update the number and then we can get going. So we are actually moving pretty fast. So now we're at 24,401.
Nice.
So let's keep adding, telling your friends, posting our content. Really, we can't do this without the community. Is really a true testament to people just like people power. Like one person, and you may have 30 people on your friends list, or subscriber list, but you're still retweeting it. Though that small sort of grassroots is how RBN got to the place that we're at now, and I think that is it. Back to you, or I'm gonna lead this right. So let's get back to what is happening with Bree.
I'm gonna get Roman here because I know I was ran like a motherfucker. I want to hear Roman.
Yeah. Let's do that, Roman.
I'll get Roman.
Let's hear Roman first, and then I'll throw up some comments.
I'm like, I'm agreeing with you. Like, I can't build no coalition with any of these people. If you know what I'm saying, finding any type of ground with these motherfuckers who coming against Bree like that, they already showed you who they were. It wasn't even there who they showed you when they showed you who they were. We saw videos when this war first popped off, how they was doing Africans when they was trying to escape on them damn trains, and they was blocking them, they was getting beat on, they was getting jumped and chased through these alleys and whatnot. We already know, and that's why black people was like, yeah, fuck that. Ask black people in the city. We seen that shit, and we don't give a fuck. That's why man.
Rome, are you telling me that there's Roman CJ? Are you both telling me that you don't see any Nazi Ukrainian flags in your neighborhood? I can literally go out with my phone camera right now and show you every single block in my neighborhood, not one Ukrainian flag, and it's black as hell over here. You tell me you're not seeing that, Rome? I know you do. You travel the country. Are you telling me people are not worried about the sanctity of the Zelensky regime? Is that what the people not worried about that, Rome?
No. People still talking about, you know what I'm saying, Plymouth Rock, man. We got our own problems to worry about, and we have our own enemies with the U.S. to fight ourselves. Why would we go in and support the U.S. doing anything? We know by firsthand what the U.S. has done to black and brown people, communities, countries. But anyways, anybody saying that they with these NATO, or they want to arm NATO in any kind of way. I don't care how you try to put it. Oh, this is a genocide. No, it's not. Because if it was a genocide, Putin would just be going through washing these motherfuckers. I mean, just carpet bombing and shit out of everything. Libya, right? Now that's a fucking genocide. These white tears mean nothing to me. They really don't. My people still suffering way more. Haiti. So fuck off with that bullshit. I ain't building a coalition with any of you progressives.
Not only not building a coalition, I mean actively debunking all the bullshit. Like, literally showing up to, like, whenever you see Jamal Bowman called out, AOC called out, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if I can find an event with Emmanuel Cleaver, and there's not a lot of political events, it's not DC, but if my congressperson Emmanuel Cleaver, if I see an event, I'm going. And I'm gonna call that motherfucker out. But we need to, in the AOC fan and the Bernie fans, the Democratic Party. Let me scratch the Bernie AOC because I don't really want to factionalize them no more. There are people who support the Democratic Party who they are upset whenever you criticize them, Bernie Sanders, and AOC. So now I'm trying to make you motherfuckers mad. Like, if you guys don't see my tweet, I've been calling out all the flaws of Bernie. All of them getting at least 2,000 likes each. Like, I'm calling out Bernie. I could show you guys, but I know a lot of you guys follow me already. I'm calling out Bernie, AOC, Ilhan. I respond to Ilhan, AOC. Every one of my tweets is getting 1,000 likes. I called out Cory Bush, fucking 1,600 likes recently. AOC 1,000. People are tired of shit, and I'm going on the offensive. Like, I am trying to drag, as I said earlier, I'm trying to drag as many black people out of the Democratic Party as possible. That goal has expanded. Like, that getting many people out of the Democratic Party, destroy the fake NATO progressive left. I'm now a powerful man. I'm gonna do the best I can. I hope I inspire the person.
Right. And you gotta show these people. You know what I'm saying? Not only tell them, but show them. That's why I don't usually say, you know what I'm saying, Libya or whatever. I don't say that. I just say Africa, because when black people hear that, they like, hold on, what? They did what in Africa? When? Where? And then that's when you get to break down what really happened, because then they're gonna try to bring up a side or whatever. But you break down what really happened, and people be ready to leave because you show them that horrible shit that really happened. Ain't no, oh, we brought democracy and now people are free. No, you completely wiped out these motherfuckers.
And why you guys think RBN, Briahna Joy Gray, and the black left in general, the people in our sphere, are rebuking NATO? How like, black people, we are looking at the West and we are inherently skeptical. And this is the point, because I made the point on Twitter. I'm gonna see if I can find a tweet, but it's not too important. Well, I mentioned how there's this wave of black leftists who question NATO's intentions, and the people who have platforms, the people who are well informed, we question it because we know what they did in Africa. We know what they do in our communities right now. We see Yemen, we see Somalia, we see Libya. Now, and then there's the rest of the black people who know basic U.S. history, know conduct of war crimes, and now we're like, we don't trust the West. Why should we trust the West to fight Russia, who never called me a nigger? Why? Where the colonization flag in Africa?
That's funny.
You're not going to find a Russian flag in formerly colonized Africa. You're not. They wasn't a part of that. They had nothing to do with it. You had the white Western colonial powers that is waging a new war, supporting a new group of Nazis. And then when black people question them, they like, oh, come on, man. You Putin sympathizer. Trust us, bro. Trust us. Shit. We have y'all best intentions at heart. And we're going to get to the video soon, CJ. And you're going to see this is the, and she's talking about a white Western chauvinist. These people, and the same with Vosh. That's why I say a lot of these people who pretend to be progressive, right? They inherently believe that the West want to protect Ukrainians. Why would you believe that? After Syria, after Libya, after seeing what they do in Palestine, after all the crimes in the global South, so many fucking morons like this guy and everyone who liked, retweeted him, Cenk Uygur, Sam Cedar, all these fucking people.
Wait, I didn't know they retweeted him.
No, I'm saying in general, because Cenk was like, "Oh, we're gonna fight Russians." I'm saying in general on that part. In general, people really believe that we should be sending weapons to Nazis in Ukraine. That the United States should get more involved, not going for peace, but for helping Ukraine win, because the United States care about Ukrainian people at the bottom of their heart. That is what the fucking idiots believe. But go ahead, Ron. I know you want to say something.
It's just like I said before. These people, like some of the people that's not really informed on these wars and what probably happened with NATO's past and whatnot, I'll give them a break. But these people with these platforms, they know better. And these people are racist. They are racist. You know what I'm saying? From Sam Cedar, Emma Vent, whatever the fuck, all of them. Even one of them on Sam Cedar's team even worked for NATO, right? All these fucking racists, dog. And what they are doing is they are getting they are trying to play victim and hero at the same time. So 10 years later, even RBN has been getting this right this whole time, and 10 years later, if we survive, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I was calling them out. He was all right about this. I knew they was lying about this." But no, motherfucker, you knew they was lying, but you still supported them because it benefits your ass. That's why you're doing it.
Sorry, Rob. I just saw this. Like, the only reason I see it because I get notification for all Savage tweets, and I saw that she responded to. This is a tweet that Bree sent literally 16 minutes ago. Look at this. I know I'm going out of order. I'm on bookmark.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Order. But I just saw it literally 16 minutes ago. They're going after Bree's Patreon. They already trying to get her YouTube pulled. She showed receipts of that, and now you got the NAFO left posting her Patreon and trying to hear Patreon support. Thanks for reaching out. If you feel this creator is violating our terms of or guidelines, you can report them using the information on this page. So you got all these NAFO. You see the NAFO, all these fucking Nazis and that bot. Like, this is a bot, by the way. And you guys always know, if you just on Twitter, if you see someone that has the same Twitter handle as a Twitter screen name and then with a number at the end, no one does that. I'm telling you, if you're not on Twitter, no one does that. Look, for example, I'm gonna show you guys. Look at Briahna Joy. Got her name, and then there's a different handle. Like, that's programmed out of the little bit of software now. No, that's a program that does that. It's title, Twitter handle, and then they just put the same title there. This is a bot. So they stick in the box at Bree the same way they stick at me, the same way they would stick at anyone who advocates for peace. So now they're trying to get her Patreon pulled. So Bree said earlier before that there's a chance that she won't make it through the scandal, and unfortunately, I gotta agree. Like, there's a chance that these motherfuckers may pull bad faith.
They don't play with war. They don't play with that shit at all. So, but let's first start out with the first clip.
Sorry, CJ. I'm gonna just say this just to answer the. I see a few people asking.
Go ahead.
Sorry, CJ. What does NAFO mean? That's the North Atlantic Fellas Organization. I did a stream like 2 weeks ago explaining how. I pretty much explain what NAFO is. It's pretty much a giant troll farm that is meant to promote Western hegemony and war. And then I did a stream 2 weeks ago that showed the founder of NAFO, and NAFO was praised by the Washington Post. There was New York Times like, "Oh my God, look at these trolls that are standing for freedom," as if that's organic. And then it will show later that the founder of NAFO was literally a fucking Nazi who praised Hitler. You can't make this shit up. And they still, to this day, NAFO is still a giant thing. The guy that Bree is talking to, we can get the video here very soon. He was popping, retweeting, and liking all the NAFO accounts. So it's literally a Nazi-ran troll farm. And that's not an exaggeration. The founder literally was a fucking Nazi.
This is what I call these people crackers, bro. They are literally using they're using the whips against us, bro. They're using their systems and they are crackers, bro.
Yes.
Racist fucking crackers, nigga. And it's plain as day. Fuck them.
Go ahead, CJ.
Okay, let's
get to the video.
So this is not the long video. This is the video that got her in trouble. So she did this video. She did a episode with Joe C. I don't want to say his name wrong. There's his name on the screen. She did this interview with him, posted it, and you know how she posts clips on all the social media. On all her social media, she'll post clips from it. She posted this clip, did not tag him at all. Didn't tag him.
Yep.
So if he wasn't on Twitter, he wouldn't know anything about this. Posted the video. He decides to go look at what people are saying in her own comments on the video. Yep. And that's what pisses him off. But here is the video that pissed him off, that got him in trouble.
They're stealing Ukrainian children. 500 just yesterday were shipped to Russia. And this is why we should be supporting them. We cannot allow this kind of evil to go unchecked, just on a basic moral reason. I mean, don't you agree with that?
I'm sorry, I don't. And here's why.
Why?
There are gangs that have overtaken Haiti. There is a cholera pandemic that was started by the UN. UN members raped Haitians. A third of Pakistan was underwater. Should we go due to the climate crisis? Should we go and invade China because Uyghurs are in concentration camps? Tell me, articulate. And this is the question that I asked Matt Duss when this war first started. Until you can articulate to me what the rationale is behind where America intervenes and where it doesn't, and give me some kind of moral accounting that makes me believe that it's actually about moral commitments and realizing how much of our money and our resources in the richest country in the world can go to saving lives and increasing the quality of life for the most people, as opposed to...
You have raped so many fucking countries, have written off generations, bombed them. People are being born with 3 fucking eyes, man, because of the shit that we have done. You telling me it's about fucking children? You telling me you care? That's funny, because my people can never get that same empathy. So how can I trust that this is America's real? It makes no sense. I'm not buying that NATO is here to be Superman. Got me fucked up. You think I'm that dumb to fall for America standing up? America literally funded the Nazis, and I wanted to fucking talk to this fucking person. Hold on. Where the fuck that goddamn comment go? It says something about Adidas was made by Nazis. And motherfucking Ford and everything else that we got here because the goddamn victors write the history.
Yep. We never defeated Nazis. The West incorporated them into their ranks.
Motherfucker.
We incorporated them, and that's literally a fact. I read the receipts many times of the NATO scientists. I literally by name and show you guys the story how NATO and the West pretty much implemented Nazi intelligence and talent into the West, and they maintained their ideology the same way the Nazis was inspired. They don't teach you this in school. I didn't know this until I was like 21. The Nazis was inspired by the genocide of the indigenous people that the United States carried out. Then they saw the black codes that the United States implemented, and they was like, "Damn, that's a good idea. That's a good way to keep the population
you think they got the ideas from?
How about we use that?" So the Nazis, their ideology was created and based on what the West was already doing. Then the West defeated them, and then it was like, we'll show you guys how it really done. We beat you. We're gonna be the ones who implement this ideology. They're pretty much fighting for geopolitical control. All it was. Because the point that Brian's making, and actually, let's get to the video. I'll continue my point later. Do you want to rewind like 10 seconds and we get back to the video?
Yeah.
But there's a few points. There's a 2-minute clip, just under 2 minutes, and there's a lot to say about this. But let's play through it.
Believe that it's actually about moral commitments and realizing how much of our money and our resources in the richest country in the world can go to saving lives and increasing the quality of life for the most people, as opposed to a strategic military intervention for territory, resources, and political control. If you can articulate to me why this is truly the most deserving humanitarian case on the planet,
and we've been asking this question for how long?
A continuation of these Cold War policies.
The only thing I'm saying, we was asking these questions for how long? And go ahead and continue to play it.
Policies. We want our economic system, our oppressive, by the way, economic system to maintain global dominance, then I can start to entertain a conversation about what our intervention should be, how long, and how much. But there is nowhere in the entire public sphere that conversation is actually happening, and nowhere close to a rationalization that's been presented.
So, what
the fuck did she say?
What I want to comment on is that clip got Bree a ton of heat. How does that make sense? That you guys listen to what Bree just said there and think that she supports the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And that is what they're using because they're deflecting from the issue because they know they are wrong. So let's go back to the very beginning. And this is why you see a lot of black leftists calling out this NATO proxy war. Because black people, knowing the crimes of the empire, and Bree brings, give you guys a few examples. Like there's a famine going on in Somalia right now. You got the U.S.
That's whataboutism. That's whataboutism. You see how they treat our lives. You see how little they think of us, Nick. When we speak on the lives that have been lost because American imperialism, they say it's whataboutism. Our lives, bro. Our people.
They're like, oh, man, who cares about those lives? Come on. And then this guy, honestly, he does what every single person under the line of questioning would do, and they don't realize. And when you nailed, and I love Bree's strategies. I cannot emphasize it enough. Bree's strategy was incredible for this debate. Incredible. Because she was like, if it's really about humanitarian efforts, why not Yemen? Why not Somalia? Why is Ukraine? And then after getting pushed, and I've seen many people do this on Twitter because I've done the same. She was like, it's about the rules-based order. That's the answer he eventually gives. Yeah, I know there's a lot of other problems, but man, we can't have Europe land change. We can't have, and that quite literally a quote. I want you guys to watch it on Bad Faith, and a lot of it is behind the paywall. I've seen some of the clips on Twitter. He's like, well, you can't allow a country to change the borders of Europe. So Europe, the red line. But if a country does the same in Africa, that's okay. That is quite literally what this Western chauvinist said. So why, as black people, if you're brown, if you're Latina, if you're Palestinian, why should we side with these people who quite literally devalue our lives? This guy quite literally said, we draw the hard line at Europe, but apparently the United States making South America their playground, the United States and the UK supporting AFRICOM, that Margaret Kimberly wrote amazingly about the war crimes that the West have committed using AFRICOM. She was just on JB's show. You guys should subscribe and check your channel out as well. That was a great interview. So black people knowing about AFRICOM, knowing the crimes of NATO, we look at what they're saying and we're like, nigga, we don't believe you care about people.
We don't believe you.
White people,
more
white
people.
Leftists and liberals like this guy, they're like, oh, we're there because we care about Ukrainians. You guys see the difference of perspective? But sorry, I know I'm ranting like a motherfucker. Rome CJ, you want anything? Because
not only they are trying to make it look like, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to make it look like people, real people, is sitting here cheering for nuclear war. The majority of this country, which I know that they're under polling like a motherfucker. Have you been polled? Again, I asked this question again today. Have you been polled for nuclear war?
Never been polled. Nope.
Okay. So, this poll, people, the majority of the country, and not only the country, but the majority of the world is against us.
Yes. I want to. Sorry, Rome. I want to add this.
We are not the good guys. We are the baddies, like always. Nothing has changed. No matter what fucking bubble you try to put us in, or all them bodies that you try to forget. Here, we are not the good guys here. We never will be.
Oh, he hit the button. Yeah, he hit the button.
That's my bad. I put the wrong button. I want to share this because I almost forgot. I want to share this last we see on that video because it's super important. The guy brings up Ukrainian kids being kidnapped by Russians. So for one, not only did this guy perform so bad in this debate that he got his feelings hurt because he was like, man, I'm probably slated, man. I held it down for NAFO, boy. Then he looked at the comments and he was like, oh my God, Bree weaponized her audience.
Weak.
What do we say all the time? These people live in a Washington, D.C. bubble. They live in a Washington, D.C. bubble. This guy used to say shit like, yeah, let's kill Russians. Let's arm Ukrainians. And then he used to get 1,000 likes from the AstroTurf Twitter. He used to his wine-sipping friends like, yeah, man, yeah, we really needed to stabilize Russia. We needed to defeat Vladimir Putin. These people are insulated in their Washington, D.C. bubble. He stepped outside he stepped outside on bad faith, and Bree didn't even make our argument. She was defending the progressive letter. And then after being insulated, he went to another platform, thought he was going to kill it, saw the comments guy's feelings hurt. And then he said, and in response to get to here soon, that Bree weaponized her supporters to go after him. But he was the one who attacked Bree. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. He's the one who attacked Bree and got the NAFO simps on her. Everything that he said Bree did is a projection. Everything. Because he got mad at Bree because Bree exposed them, and he was like, "Well, you didn't."
Let me put that up.
That's one of the main.
As you talk, I'll put that up. Yeah.
That's one of the main tactics that Nazis have
let me
used.
show this part first. And then I'll pass to you, wrong. My bad.
No, that's all I have to say.
I preface that too long. I just want to debunk what the dude was saying because there's a reason why the guy got a horrible a reception, and a lot of people don't even know how much he was lying. He did it. He got shit on despite people not. He brought up the God, think about the kids. This is what the neocons always do. Think about the kids. Come on, we gotta go in Afghanistan. Think about the kids. So Bree rolled her eyes at that, especially considering they use the same talking point they use all the time. CJ, remember we explained they recycle talking points.
Yeah.
So they say, and this is one of the propaganda accounts, 24 kidnapped Ukrainian children from Russia occupied Donetsk region are passed and adopted families. I'm not gonna say Novo. Let's call it Novo. 3,600 kilometers away from home. So this blew up. 17,000 likes. That guy repeated it. So you know all the liberals, they were all repeating this shit.
Oh my God.
So the reality of the situation with Wyatt Reed, who actually covered international events and actually in Ukraine, children orphaned by the Kiev regime's barbaric shelling. So the Kiev regime, like we explained, has killed over 13,000 ethnic Russians before this conflict, and they continue to shell and kill even more. So when Russia sees that these parents are killed by the Ukrainian government, they are adopted. And this is what he's explained. These people are not kidnapped. It's adoption. It's adoption. These Ukrainian propagandists know that, but they also know they can lie with impunity and be rewarded for it. So Scott Ritter, banned on Twitter. We're going to cover that here later. This person can repeat this lie, no accountability. And I'm going to show you guys, they use the same talking points. And it works on Americans because, for the most part, Americans have the attention span and the memory of a goldfish. I remember
have no idea about foreign policy, what's really going on in these territories. We have 800 military bases around the world. Do you know how much damage we are doing? It's a reason why we are the #1 polluter.
Yeah, right, I want to. I know I'm ranting like a motherfucker. That's my last receipt I want to share, at least on that part. CJ, you can share your screen now. But man, there's so much stuff. I'm ranting like a motherfucker this stream. But God, there's so many ways we can dismantle these people. Go ahead, CJ.
So we're gonna watch a little bit of the video. I am a Patreon supporter of the Bad Faith Podcast. So we're not going to play the whole video, but there is a part that we need to comment on that he's talking about war, and then we're going to go back to the video that she posts on YouTube. So publicly, because this is on YouTube too. But so let's watch this. It's about maybe 15 minutes of this one we'll watch before we go to the other one.
There is no quarter for an anti-war movement in the United States and America except for on the right side of the aisle. It's been confirmed by the retraction of this letter.
No.
Until Vladimir Zelensky personally decides the war should be over, it's a blank check to Ukraine. People won't stand for that. People aren't standing for it, and people are going to the Republican Party as a consequence.
Everybody understands that this war has to end in a negotiated settlement.
So why is it so controversial for people to say that in the letter?
That's what I'm getting at, because it's this method of doing it. This is in America.
Sending a letter.
The
method of sending a letter that politely, like, hey, Daddy Biden, please, can you please at least suggest, possibly wink and nod at peace? We still support your war. Don't worry, Daddy Biden. We're not standing on. No, I promise I support the war. That's basically
what the letter said.
And he's mad about that. That's why I can't emphasize enough how much these people are clowns. Like Bree's position is not even near ours. Go ahead, you can play the video. Go ahead.
Sorry. I thought you stopped.
Yeah,
I'm not looking at the screen. I'm just looking at the video.
Ahead.
So I'm trying to play your guys' cues here. No, I'm trying to just listen for cues when I can play. That's all.
I'm sorry, when I see someone like Matt flip-flop the way that he has done.
No, that is absolutely not true. Can I ask you, have you talked to any Ukrainians about this?
Yes.
Then you go to the end of the letter and it says, this is the primary aim of U.S. policy should be to end this war.
Should it not be?
What?
Okay, I'm really glad to be joined today.
Why is that his expression to that?
And this guy says, remember, and you're gonna see this. I'll be quick here. Throughout the course, I didn't watch the whole debate. I've seen a few clips on Twitter, but that clip, that beginning is one of the clips I saw. You guys, you see how he said, "Have you ever talked to any Ukrainians?"
Yes.
Oh no, sir. Did you talk to any Russian Ukrainians? How about the Ukrainians in the Donbass that voted to join Russia at an 85% rate?
You can't. They killed
This
their
is the point. They claim they care about Ukrainians, but they care only about the Ukrainians that the Kiev regime approves of. If the Kiev regime purges, kills, and torture a Russian sympathizing Ukrainian, a Romani, man, come on, man, just war. Things happen in war.
Hey, I need my mans who are broken the Pelosi's to do me a favor. You know what I'm saying? He talking crazy. He talking too crazy.
Day. We managed to squeeze this interview in under the buzzer by Joe Cirincione. He was on Bad Faith podcast, I think back in maybe May, talking about, again, the Ukraine war and the threat of nuclear proliferation. He's former president of the Plowshare Fund. He is an author. He is an activist. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Well, thank you very much.
He also worked for the State Department, according to his own Twitter account.
Oh.
Yep.
Pleasure to be with you.
Makes sense now.
Yeah, he's been part of the government too.
Okay, so we all
and the Center for American Progress.
All know why we're here today. We're here today to discuss what everybody's talking about. I feel like it requires like all caps all caps letter, the letter that has been roiling the left, the right, the center, everything in between. Let me set this up briefly. So earlier this week, feels like it was a lot longer ago than that, but earlier this week, the Congressional Progressive Caucus issued a letter dated October 24th that we're going to get back into in more detail. But broadly speaking, it reaffirmed Joe Biden's policy commitment.
We know this part, so we're going to skip to when she asked him the question. So let's get to that part. So here we go. Yeah.
Republicans who seek to pull the plug on American support for President Zelensky and Ukrainian forces. You subsequently wrote an article that was cutely titled, like, "What WTF is up with Ukraine?" explaining why you thought the letter was a bad idea and the withdrawal was a good idea. Tell me why.
Okay. So if all you know about the letter is what you just said, I mean, what's wrong with that? And I think for many people that they would say, well, look, a Congressional Progressive Caucus, good. Diplomacy, good. End the war with Ukraine, good. Stop the bloodshed, good. So this must be good. So people who are complaining about this letter must be against diplomacy, against progressivism, against peace. But that's not what the frame is. That's not what's actually going on here. This particular letter was based on a very outdated assessment of the war. It was written in June when the war did appear to be stalemated and when Russia had recently made substantial conquests. In fact,
we got to stop and address this part. If you want to chime in, Nick or Ron, but because he says he's making the point that the letter is outdated. So we must ask, what is in the letter that's outdated? Is the support that they're saying that they have for the war, is that outdated? No. So then what exactly is he saying is outdated? Them saying what? To directly communicate with Russia? Like, what's outdated? You get what I'm saying? So go ahead.
The thing is how wrong he is. Because he claimed that, this letter was released in June, and that's when the letter made more sense, but the letter makes less sense now. That there's nothing that could be further than the truth. If anything, that letter makes more sense now because the height of nuclear war, because the Russians increased their shelling of Kiev. And notice, this guy don't give a shit. Remember the coverage we did a few weeks ago and Russia escalated their attacks in Kiev, their bombing? So if there's ever a time to send that letter, now's the time. Do you guys know that like 60% of Kiev is in the dark? They lost their power. Meanwhile,
I'm thinking this is what he means. Can I insert this because it goes with what you're saying? Because I'm thinking maybe this is what he means when he could be telling on himself. Maybe he's meaning that it's the wrong time because now it's escalating.
Yes, he does.
Don't put this when it's escalating, okay?
Yeah, because now would be the best time to send a letter.
Right. So for if you're a person who is for the imperialist United States, this is the wrong time. And we have to understand first, we're not in the PMC Jacobin world, but this guy is looked on as a good person, like as a part of the left. Like this person, believe it or not, he's looked as not like Bernie Sanders or nothing like that, but he's generally looked at as a friend of the left because he's always preaching against nuclear war. But he's preaching against nuclear war while still preaching the same talking points of the imperialist core. You get what I'm saying? That's the trade-off that the professional managerial class is willing to make. Well, he's good because he's against nuclear war, but yes, you see how we're still marching? You see how the left is still marching to the right when it comes to war? Specifically when it comes to war. Go ahead if you want to.
Also, I don't like I fall pretty troll sometimes, but I want to address it because even if it's a troll, this is the narrative that they will say. This guy, I never know when you guys are trolling me or not. In a June stalemate, in October, Ukraine on the verge of victory. Laugh out loud. Once again, this is someone who watches corporate media because I watch a lot of these segments and they tell these people the same thing. Do you guys know winter is coming and the territories that are under control of Russia has power?
Man.
Kiev and West Ukraine do not. Do you guys know the Donbass?
It's about to be a real
when you look at this area, I want to pull my notes up because I was talking to Zoya. She sent this amazing stat. Yeah, in the Donbass accounts for 60% of the Ukrainian GDP. In the area of the Donbass, you know, the area that want to be free from the Kiev regime, they rank higher on the Human Development Index than Western Ukraine. That's why they're willing to kill as many people to keep this area part of Ukraine, even though they don't want to be part of it. So you liberals like, oh my God, we gotta respect people's sovereignties, right to self-determination. Oh, except the Eastern Ukrainians, except the Palestinians, except anyone who don't support our geopolitical agenda. So when you consider this, I'm gonna show you guys this receipt. Once again, Zoya, I appreciate you sending me all this stuff. I'm gonna show you another receipt to show you guys why it's ridiculous to believe that Russia is losing. Because this is a time game. The West, they put these arbitrary metrics on Russia because that's how they do things. They're like, oh my God, why didn't they kill many civilians that we did in Iraq? Why didn't they conquer the entire country? Because that's never been their goal.
Right.
Never. So at this point,
so that's to them is they're losing. To them, they're not. They're failing at their strategy because they're not massacring people. Is that what you're saying, Nick?
That's exactly what it is. So they put and Scott Ritter does a great job explaining this. Just banned on Twitter because he tells too much truth. Scott Ritter does a good job explaining this. This is who I got it from. So the United States, when they go to war, when they go to Iraq, whenever you hear someone complaining about Ukrainian civilians, the United States killed 1,000 times more Iraqi civilians in literally under 6 months than Russia did in Ukraine. So when the United States go to other countries, because our military is a joke, we do not win. You guys know that? When the last time the United States won a war? We don't.
They don't shoot at somebody that's shooting back. They don't know how to shoot at people that's shooting back, and that's the U.S. Military problem. And that's why they always fucking suck.
They suck and they don't win war. Like, for example, the war on terror. They announced a war on terror, and now there's more terrorism after the war on terrorism. So you lost. You lost in Afghanistan. You couldn't beat the Taliban. So the United States military sucks. They only accomplished massive infrastructural damage to the country and mass civilian deaths of the opposition they're trying to suppress. So they don't see Russians slaughtering all the Ukrainians.
Robbing their land.
Yeah, so they're like, man, they must be.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point of the military-industrial complex, and that is not to win wars. Yes. That is to launder money to weapons manufacturers. Mm-hmm. That's it. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, most of our manufacturing now is just making weapons. Fucked up.
Let me show you guys this real quick. I want to give Roma.
You can take it down
real quick. Just to make my point, because despite what the West and the mainstream media is telling you, all Russia has to do is wait this shit out. You guys know that? So they already losing global support. Africa, done. Brazil, Lula went to strengthen BRICS, and he blamed Lula. And then Brazil heard that message like, yep, you're right. The entire world is rejecting the West. So Putin just got to wait. Look at this. They predicted that Putin's economy will crumble, and the West was very open about this. The West said their goal is to put crippling sanctions. It may destroy the global economy. Doesn't matter as long as we piss off Russians enough to the point where they will enact regime change on Putin. The same strategy. That strategy already failed, guys. So for the people who are not trolling and believe that Russia is losing, look at this other headline on the right. Mainstream media, same outlet. As Europe falls into recession, Russia climbs out. Russia is no longer in a recession. Look, real-time data show a subdued but strengthening economy. So as the economy of Europe get worse, as protests continue to escalate that they're not telling you in Germany and France and UK, and as winter continue to get colder, who's going to be in a geopolitical advantage?
We told them that these sanctions will do nothing but blow in their face. And, Russia is still in good gracious with damn near more countries.
The rest of the world. Yeah, the rest of the world.
So,
and what did you say, Nick? You said like 70% of the world population is against. Yeah, that's not like an exaggeration, because if you put Brazil, you put China, if you put India, if you put South Africa. Go ahead.
And you guys understand, Brazil, when you combine the entire population of South America, outside of Brazil, any country outside of Brazil, it is barely just over the population of just Brazil. Brazil is a massive, influential country in South America, and I cannot emphasize that enough. So when you look at Brazil, BRICS and Lula, nigga, that's half of South America alone. Your own fucking hemisphere rejects you. How you win? How in the universe is the West winning this? They're not. But anyway, let's continue the video. I went on that spill. But let's continue the video. We 50 minutes in. We still got a lot.
Yeah, let's play a little bit.
Not happening, but go ahead.
In fact, there are phrases in the letter that refer to Russia's recent conquest of Ukrainian cities. That was true in May, but it's not in October. And where there's a stalemate in May.
So he's saying specifically the stuff that was true. Let's listen to the thing that he's pointing out here.
The war, it was written in June when the war did appear to be stalemated. And when Russia had recently made substantial conquests. In fact, there are phrases in the letter that refer to Russia's recent conquest of Ukrainian cities. That was true in May, but it's not in October. And where there was a stalemate in May, now Ukraine's on the offensive. Russia's in retreat. So the situation of the war is quite...
I'm glad I explained that before. We didn't get the video playing, but I'm glad I explained that before this. And I think that's why it's smart. Whenever you hear someone repeat this, Russia is losing talking point, they get their information from the corporate media or the Democratic Party operatives like this guy. I just want to let's continue the video. I don't want to rant too long.
And that's good that you, because I want to say this point, and that is he is that type. He is the, I'm left in this fear of military. I'm against nuclear war. And he's on a lot of different shows talking about, he's listed as an expert. He was just on CNN like 2 weeks ago. He's listed as an expert and, a progressive. I'm against nuclear. So he's sort of the person that's put out by the ruling class to say, hey, or the military industrial complex to say, hey, go out there and be the person that's saying, I want this to be tamped down. He's been doing this work for 30 years, by the way. I want this to be like, you get what I'm saying? He's the, yeah, let's all gather together and fight this nuclear war. At the same time, I'm going to push the same CIA military industrial complex, NATO talking points about war, accepting all the same narratives. That's the job he's here to do.
Because if you want to stop war,
he's here to bring you in as a anti-nuclear war person and then lull you to sleep with all this other stuff. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, because I'm just agreeing. Because if you really want to stop war, there is no tricks and trades, no obstacles to it. Niggas just say, hey, let's just settle this shit. Let's just stop. You got to come together and just stop it. That's it. Like, ain't no I don't give a fuck if that letter was a year old. Sit there and say, oh shit, it got caught up in the mail. It's a war going on.
Yeah, that's a great point. If they was winning, we wouldn't need to send them money.
Man, dude.
Like the lies is in what they saying. The lies is already in what they saying.
And what people should fear is you know, what people should fear is the money, is the resources, is the weapons that we are sending over compared to what Russia even makes a year, or whatever, what Russia even put in their military compared to us.
They've been holding back.
Like, man, it can get real ugly, y'all. Like, a lot of people don't know, but Russia army is still one of the strongest armies on this earth, and America knows that. I think the people that's in power right now, I think they would rather die than to give up their power than anything.
And our friend Black and Empire, as he often say, you guys know that Ukraine already lost. Ukraine lost quite a long time ago. Russia is now fighting the NATO army.
Oh yeah,
right. And we can get back to the video. I want to make this last point to show their contradiction. And they are so propagandized they don't even realize it. Back to that comment, they say, "Oh man, Ukraine is winning this war." But at the same time, they will decry any effort to stop funding Ukraine. And there was a court media headline segment. I still got it in my email. I got to play it sometime. It's like one of them old segments I never got a chance to get to, where this person was like, "Oh, we can't stop." And it wasn't even part of the like main conversation. He just brought it up. He said, "Well, we stop arming and sending weapons to Ukraine, then Russia will win." So that means it's not Ukrainians' war. It's NATO versus Russia. Because they will openly admit this, guy. They will openly admit that Ukraine will lose if we stop sending weapons. How in the universe is that a win? People are like, you're winning. You're winning a set.
That's not support.
The West. But go ahead, CJ.
That's not support. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's not support that you're doing all of the lifting. But let's get back to the video. And let's
hold on. Because these people always prove my point at the end of the day. Because I always ask motherfuckers, okay, we have it your way. Ukraine wins. Let's just say somehow Ukraine wins this war. What happens after that? Everybody just go home, pack up their bags? Or is y'all going to do a regime change? Are y'all going to try to get Putin hit? Because we see it. We see it coming. Look at the way you guys have set up around this man's country. So what is the next move? And who wins? What winning? Like this is crazy. But go ahead with the video, man. These people are fucking crazy. Yeah, they're trying to get us killed.
A little bit. I wanted to preface this with a lot of information so you guys know before you hear this guy say it. So now I'll show up for a bit. I'll let it play. Now you guys know why this guy is lying. So let's play. You guys see the propaganda he uses.
Quite different. But then so number one, it's based on a faulty analysis. So you would think that would raise some flags for people. Number two, the proposal that it raises isn't just for diplomacy. It's for a very specific kind of diplomacy. They want the United States to engage in direct talks with Russia. Now, while it's good for the U.S. to have channels of communications open with Russia, and we are, in fact, talking to Russia now, just in the last couple of weeks, there's been 3 or 4 very high-level exchanges with Russia. What this letter calls for is direct negotiations for the purpose of seeking a ceasefire, right, and negotiating a peace. And that's what it says for, in the very end of the letter, repeats that engage in direct talks with Russia. And there's a caveat there that says, with the approval of Ukraine, but Ukraine is relegated to a secondary position. So normally wars end when the belligerents negotiate. So in this case, Russia, the invader, Ukraine, the defender. And what this letter does is it wants the U.S. to do this.
So he's trying to sell. You see how he's still working for the ruling class? You see how he's still working for the military industrial complex? Because he's trying to sell like the U.S. ain't calling the shots. Yep. That's what he's trying to sell you right now.
I'm biting my tongue so hard. We can let play.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I knew. You deserve an award. I knew. I wasn't looking at the screen, but I knew Nick was like, go ahead, Rome, and then Nick, go ahead.
No, Rome, you can go. I'll let the video play after Rome.
I'm good because it just blows my mind how these people can actually say Ukraine is fighting this war. Dude, if Ukraine really fought against Russia, what weaponry what kind of fucking military do they have? Do they have an established military? Something like no, not fucking nowhere near fucking with Russia's. I'm pretty sure they have been wiped out a long time ago.
Look at this. This from yesterday.
I was just watching. I wish I can pull that video up on here. I was just watching I was just watching little clips and shit. I'm watching English-speaking snipers in Ukraine fighting Russia.
Yes, they've been there. I promise you. This is the headline from yesterday. Now they actually admitting it, even though I explained before. They in the corporate media openly admitted they had CIA intelligence officials and other military training commanders in Ukraine, which anyone can make the argument that that's already troops on the ground. And Russia not wanting to escalate World War III, they could easily be looking at everything the U.S. has done, like, oh, this is a declaration of war. But they did not want to do that. Now the Pentagon, I just pulled this up just because you reminded me of it, confirmed deployment of active duty military personnel in Ukraine. So the U.S. is officially involved. That's why I said now is the time for us to declare war. Bernie Sanders is in Philadelphia, apparently. Wink and nod. These people need to get maximum pressure because we already trying. The West is trying their best to escalate that. But anyway, CJ, we can continue the video.
All right, here we go.
Then the uproar. The uproar came from the signers of the letter, the people who.
Okay, so let me say this so we can finish. Let the video play because I forgot to say this part. So he's selling the whole Ukraine is running the war, and he's also selling us that the 30 signers didn't get calls demanding that they say retract the letter. That's what he's pretending now. He's pretending as if the signers are mad, as if they didn't get a call. Because what took them so long? Go ahead.
People who were blindsided by this. This was just on a whole other level, just terrible staff work. I used to work on Congress for 10 years. And man, if you're doing a dear colleague, that morning you're telling your member, here's the dear colleague, it's going out, here's the talking points on it, or here's the press release. And they did none of that for these members. Apparently, one, maybe two or three of the leadership was told about this. It's unclear if the great progressive leader, Representative Jayapal, was actually told this letter was going out, or Ro Khanna was told it was going out. It's not clear. She issued a statement that said the staff released this without proper vetting. But it was the members themselves who had signed it who then raised the outroar. And you saw people tweeting about it. One of them, Representative Jacobs, says, this shouldn't have gone out. If I was presented with it today, I wouldn't have signed it. Why? Because it doesn't accurately reflect the situation on the ground today. Some of this letter is like frozen in time. So they objected. People after people issued, the signers issued statements, taking their name off it. And
you see, that just means the signers are participating in the narrative that the military-industrial complex is trying to sell, just like you.
Didn't urge Jayapal to withdraw it. The leadership of the House was quite upset with this. So it was in the Democratic Party themselves that they objected to this, and that's what caused the withdrawal. I was particularly struck by Jamie Raskin's eloquent response to this.
Listen to this shit. Listen to this. Jamie Ellison, I think he said his name is. Listen to he's a rep because that's what he said. So I'll replay it. He's saying, listen, listen, let me reference this eloquent speech that he gave about why he pushed back. So basically a corporate Democrat is who he's talking about. But I'll let you listen hear it for yourself here.
Was presented with it today, wouldn't have signed it. Why? Because it doesn't accurately reflect the situation on the ground today. Some of this letter is like frozen in time. So they objected. People after people issued, the signers issued statements, taking their name off it, and didn't urge Jayapal to withdraw it. The leadership of the House was quite upset with this. So it was in the Democratic Party themselves that they objected to this, and that's what caused the withdrawal. I was particularly struck by
the leadership of the House was quite upset with this. Why didn't he say Nancy Pelosi was quite upset with this?
Jamie Raskin's eloquent response to this, one of the signers and one of the people I was surprised to see on this letter, repudiating the letter. And he calls it, this particular negotiating style, a colonialist reflex. That's
colonialist reflex. This is what I wanted to play it up until this point. Colonialist reflex. I'm gonna let him play. He's gonna kind of explain it a little more. Let's listen.
Some people think that wars are settled by great powers and great powers alone, and even some of us in the progressive movement are infected with this view. It is a colonialist reflex. So that's what caused the demise of the letter.
He doesn't even explain it. You know,
colonialists are trying to use it. Look, can you believe what they're doing here, though? Imperialists are trying to accuse or have the accusation that this is colonial-like, because we're saying negotiate peace. That's like having a colonialist reflex. I know you want to speak on that, Nick. Go ahead.
That is the hardest video ever to get through. Jesus, fuck. I have a few more receipts I want to share on this story. Anything you want to add? Yeah. Anything you want to add to that video? Because I want to go on the rant. I can move on to that because it's so. I have a few more things that will debunk his point even more. Like I got. But I said toss other topics. But anyway, Roman, you want to add anything before I move on? Because
no, because I'm gonna fuck around and get us kicked off.
You got receipts for something.
Yeah, I got quite a few on this topic because I want you guys to know just how full of shit these people are. We are going to war. If you missed it before, I said it in the live stream. We are going to war.
What I was going to say is let's show what he responded so people know. You get we never showed his tweet. I have it, or if you have it, I can show it. Or you can have it up.
Let's do that part. His response.
Yeah, let's just read his tweet of what he got up, so people know that he got upset. And it's right.
And as we get to this part, you guys gonna see his tweet where he blamed Bree for sticking a mob on him, as he literally tries to get Bree canceled. And they're not exaggeration. They're not cancel warrior exaggeration. Culture war exaggeration. That is literally him saying, "Oh, everyone should avoid bad faith." And using the John platform, don't go on bad faith. Let's blacklist bad faith. You guys will see what we're talking about here because this dude had a fucking temper tantrum over this. Meanwhile, it was literally him. Let me show you this video. Actually, before you do that,
go ahead.
Show you this video.
I'm looking for it.
It's very short. It's very short. This was posted by my friend Black Bernie Babe. That essentially summed up his interview in a nutshell. And let's read this. This is an example, just since it's there. Look how many likes it's got of the shitstorm, and look at this. Does that surprise you? I'm not gonna say anything, but does her profile picture surprise you? Doesn't surprise me. Now let's see what she says. To Bree, very rational argument, unspeakable moral bankruptcy. Shame on you, being a genocide denier. At what point does Bree say any of these things? At no point in this video does Bree, and it's not insult, but at no point in this video does Bree sound like RBN. She literally just defending the progressive letter. Are we clear? And I noticed the style because they keep doing this. So if you don't watch it, you would think that, oh man, she must be not denying genocide. No. Anyway, let me read the tweet before I ran. Being a genocide denier, denying support to the victims of invasion, not the ethnic Russians, though, with a straight face is beyond my comprehension. Stopping genocide is not good enough a reason. Or
hold on, I accidentally shared. Let me put yours. I didn't know I accidentally.
I'll just read it anyway.
Now, go ahead again. Now.
Yeah, so
now that we can see,
stopping genocide. Even though Bree, you know how she didn't read she didn't listen to the video before she got this hit that she was sent to. She got someone told her to attack Bree or something. Cause there's no way you getting it. This 1,000 likes, it's hard to get unless you're on the fucking the preferred algorithm. Could you read
all of that again? I didn't catch.
Yeah, here's the response, and I'm showing it just to show you guys why we waging war on these white liberals, the NATO left. This is the video clip that we played in the beginning. This is their response. Unspeakable moral bankruptcy. Shame on you for advocating for peace. Being a genocide denier, denying support to the victims of invasion with a straight face is something beyond my comprehension. Stopping genocide is not good enough of a reason. Look at Bree just explained the video. Now you know she didn't watch it before she attacked. She just explained if you want to stop genocide, why not Yemen? Why not support the Palestinians? Why not support the Somalis that are literally going through a famine right now? This person don't give a fuck. And once again, I'm gonna pull a picture up and you can fill in the blanks on why. Right? So anyway, I pulled that up because I just saw that. Let me fix the audio because my friend Monica posted this video I saw earlier that essentially sums up her position and the guy that Bree debates perfectly. I always gotta make sure the audio.
That guy's funny. I've seen a bunch of his. He does those videos all the time where he does the two-sided videos like that.
Yeah, so this is literally the guy who Bree debated in a nutshell.
And that's why we're offering cash incentives to host Ukrainian refugees. Question, so while that's great, why didn't you do that for Syrian refugees? Well, Syria is a civil war. This is from a country that used to control them. Oh, so like why people of Afghanistan seek refuge from the Taliban. Why not host them? Right, see, again, totally different. Ukraine is facing a human rights crisis. Oh, like the refugees from Myanmar? In a way, but they're also fleeing from the potential political corruption. Like the refugees from Venezuela? These are white people that need help.
Thanks.
Oh, that is literally the entire and love the Democratic Party in a nutshell. In RBN, Briahna Joy Grace sees you too. The black left, we see you motherfuckers. I want you to know that. Bree's asking these questions. We're asking these questions. I am seeing more and more people in our community ask these questions. Why not this country? Why this country? Why we still? It's over, guys. Anyway, CJ, I'll pass to your room.
Like I said, it's not about it's not whataboutism. Nigga, we are talking about people's lives like y'all don't see it. So we don't know, you know what I'm saying? We don't actually feel it. Even though it might make you cry or whatnot when you do, you know what I'm saying, see a picture or a video, we don't actually know what's going on over here, man. We're not feeling that shit like how these people feel it. And you know what I'm saying? And if you have empathy for these people, you speak up for them because you know what's going on. And you're like, okay, now you want to play Goku and come save them and throw spirit bombs everywhere. Where were you at before? Where were you at when our people needed help? Like, I just don't buy it, man.
They vote for the guy who they pretend they support standing in solidarity with genocide victims while literally voting for Jim Crow Joe, who's starving millions of Afghan people right now.
Yes.
Like, do you guys understand why this brings out pure white hot rage out of me? Like,
well, America has a history of having this ability, literally from the beginning, having the ability to say we have freedom and democracy while at the same time committing genocide on the American natives and also have enslaved. You see how they're able to do both?
If they feel that strongly,
this is
bro.
a tradition.
If they feel that strongly, they can give up all their fucking lands and money to the natives of this fucking land that's still alive today. If not, shut the fuck up. You don't care. You don't care about us. You never will. Yeah. And I don't like you. You only want us to root for you, but when it comes down to fight for us, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't really want to fight for us. Ain't no arms for us. Y'all want to talk about Black Lives Matter when they was getting their asses kicked in the streets by the same people y'all support, y'all put out there. We was out there protesting. We say, yeah, we hate these people. It's like, okay, y'all hate these people. We're gonna defund them for you. Or did we say defund? We said refund. My bad. God damn.
Let me read the tweet.
What kind of motherfucker? How evil could you be, bro? To run on abolishing ICE, talking like that shit, and doing some bush like this. Let me run upstairs real quick. I'll be right back, yo.
Yeah, here is the tweet. So we played the video, and what Bree did was just simply kind of like quote what was said in the video. So she didn't add any context or add any analysis in the caption there, and you can see that for yourself. But where is it? Right here. So, but let's go to what he said, because again, he wasn't tagged. So in order for him to even know what was in the video comments, was it for him to go there? Now he probably went, oh, let me go see what people think of our very intelligent conversation that I had. Let me go see, like he did last time she posted videos when he was on her show before. And then he saw he was getting destroyed in the comments. So then he tweets this. She did nothing. I've done lots of interviews on the right and left. Never has the host weaponized the interview to attack me and encourage their supporters to post hundreds. This is what he's getting mad. Hundreds of insults and smears without correction. So I guess he's saying maybe he's not. let me just finish. Don't make my mistake. Never go on bad faith with Briahna Joy Gray. So I'll let you comment first, Nick, and then I'll comment. I'll let you
know
comment
the first things I noticed, which knows this is how you know that Joe is embarrassed, right? So you know Briahna Joy Gray's Twitter handle, as we show right there, right? So why did scroll down, CJ? You notice that he doesn't quote tweet Briahna Joy Gray? He posts a screenshot of her tweet instead of quote tweeting it. Why would you do that? It's not like you don't want people to harass Brie because you tagged her. You swarmy fuck. So he accused Brie of doing quite literally what he's doing right now. Right. He's like, everyone who followed me.
You created a new tweet. You created a new tweet of your own instead of replying. So I get what you're saying.
Now, ask yourself this question. Why didn't he quote tweet the video that Brie posted? Why post a screenshot? Guys, if you're not on Twitter,
you don't want them to hear the video. He doesn't want his people to hear the video, Nick. Go ahead.
That's exactly the point I'm getting. And if you're not on Twitter, because I know I'm more online than most, it is literally more work to save, copy, and paste an image than him just literally putting one button that say quote tweet. So you know he's not doing that for convenience. He screenshots his video. I'm sorry, he grabbed a screenshot of this because he don't want his supporters to hear any truth. He don't want them to accidentally click the video and be like, damn, Brie actually made some good points. Oh, damn, this motherfucker sounds like a dumbass. So you know he's embarrassed. That was literally the first thing I noticed when I saw this tweet. Why not post a video, Joe, you scary fuck? This is just a screen grab.
Because you don't want to. Because look what his audience sees. They see him being a hero. Look what he's saying here. He's the hero. You see what he's doing, and he has the audacity. This okay. I'm just gonna start just using some foul language just with this guy. I'm gonna start just using some foul language. But this is. But let's break down this part right here, where it says the host has weaponized the interview to attack me and encourage their followers to post hundreds of insults. But he's saying without correction, that she should be going in there saying something about what they're saying. Wow. That she needs to be Captain Save-A Joe. That's what she needs to be. Captain Save-A Joe today.
Meanwhile, Joe, look, and there's so many layers of how you know to do full shit. Look at like the second line. So encourage their supporters to post hundreds of insults and smears without correction. Hey Joe, where's your tweet condemning the racist tweets that we about to show that NAFO sent to Briahna Joy Gray? Crickets. Or where's your correction of the people like the person I showed earlier who straight up misrepresenting Brie's position?
You are the company you keep.
People that call Brie a genocide denier. You had a conversation with Brie, so you know for a fucking fact that she's not a genocide denier.
She literally named genocide, in the fucking video. She literally named genocides that's going on right now.
Yes.
So how is she a genocide denier? Oh, it's because it didn't make the white people feel good enough. Fuck out of here. Man, it makes no sense, bro. And you are the company you keep. So all these fucking NAFO, all these people, they sending people at her. That's how they feel about us, bro. That's how they really feel about black people. And they won't condemn it. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they feel. And they get, you know what I'm saying? These people get to say it for them. And I love how, you know, these people like, they ain't racist. They're not Nazis. Russia are the Nazis. And these motherfuckers always show they fucking ass. Always. Seeing her calling this woman the N-word and all kind of shit. It's like when motherfuckers was like, there's only a couple of them. And then you have videos of motherfuckers with tattoos talking about, yeah, we are Nazis. Just a couple of last week we saw people in Ukraine with KKK outfits on. Like this shit is a fucking game. There is no Nazis. Nobody's racist. You telling me a European country isn't racist? Get the fuck out of here.
I literally heard liberals say stuff like this. Well, why are you guys fear-mongering over Ukrainian Nazis? Aren't there Russian Nazis? Have you guys heard of the Wagner Group? I got this response so many times on Twitter. It's so fun every time I get it. Hey, last time I checked, are we sending weapons to Russian Nazis? and let me ask you guys this question. If you're one of the people that say, what about the Russian Nazis? There's only 2 countries in the world that rejected the notion to condemn Nazism, something that Russia introduced. You want to know what country that was? It was the United States and Ukraine. So yes, every country has Nazis, every country has racists, but only 2 countries in the world literally refuse to condemn Nazism, and that is Ukraine and the United States. And if you listen to that, and this talking point is said all the time, please repeat that. Because I responded to so many people on Twitter saying that, and they immediately disappear every time. What about the Wagner Group? Is our money going to the Wagner Group? Our money is funding one particular kind of Nazi right now, so I'm gonna call that out. I wouldn't particularly be happy if our taxpayer money was funding Putin's projects. I'm like, hey, why not we send that money in the hood? It would be the same fucking argument. Plus, mine is the historical context, right? I want to share one thing regarding that. I'll pass back.
He said your own house. Motherfucker, we're on the other side of the world.
I'll pass right to you, CJ. I want to share this receipt just because it's on topic of what we're talking about. So that guy and the entire NATO left, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Jamil, all of them, garbage. Because they all will pretend TYT, Cenk Uygur was, he was like, oh my God, Jimmy Dore and his people spread Putin talking points about Nazis. So I'm going to ask you guys this question. If there's no Nazis in Ukraine, why was there a ban in Congress to fund the neo-Nazis in Ukraine before this? And this is from a friend of the show, Black of the Empire.
Came down.
He tweeted, the year Congress made it okay to fund Azov, who they acknowledge as a neo-Nazi group. So Congress, and that's what, remember that old Ro kind of tweet where he's like, we should not be sending funds to Nazis in Ukraine. And then he deleted that tweet because that was when the House acknowledged that the Azov Battalion had a giant Nazi presence in Ukraine. So they, in their spending bill, I'm sorry, I gotta turn this ad blocker on this site. They had something. They had a condition, for lack of a better term, in their spending bill that would have forbade funding neo-Nazis. I want to stress this enough. There's also reports that the Pentagon and the military-industrial complex did it anyway. We live in a lawless country. Even though it was on the book, they still were funding Nazis, right? But anyway, let me read the headline. Congress removed a ban on funding neo-Nazis from a year-end spending bill. Under pressure from the Pentagon, Congress has stripped the spending bill of an amendment that prevented funds from falling into the hands of Ukrainian neo-fascist group. Look at the date there. January 2016, NATO left. The Nazi apologia left. The genocide denying left. The war crime denying left. Everything they say about us, they do by denying the ethnic cleansing of ethnic Russians. But I'll pass it back to you, CJ.
Yeah, here is a tweet. And I don't know if you saw this, but it's just gonna show a couple of tweets of so this guy. Well, where am I?
That's what I was talking about when I said we're on the other side of the world.
Oh, here it goes. Max Steiner for Congress. So this person is running for Congress, and this is what he put out about Bree. Bree seems to think that America should only intervene anywhere if it is willing to intervene everywhere. Like, why clean one room if you aren't willing to clean your whole house? It's moronic. It excuses inaction and it plays right into Putin's hand. Shame. So this guy is obviously running as a Democrat and he's trying to get some kudos.
We gotta go after him. You fucked up.
I read that so that you can read what Bree said. And Bree says this about that tweet. This aspiring congressman joins the chorus of people unable to articulate why America should invest in Ukraine versus other places if the cause is purely humanitarian. At least Joe had the integrity to it had the I think she meant had the integrity to admit it was about the geopolitical global order and weakening Russia. Whereas this person is probably likely doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about, but he wanted to jump into the propaganda game. But let's take this analogy. Why clean one room if you aren't willing to clean the other room? Because the analogy falls flat because we're talking about people's lives. So the analogy should be more like, why save one baby, or why save one baby if you're not willing to save all the babies? That's the more accurate analogy, not a room. But just like white America does, they sort of whitewash or downplay the lives of black and brown people in this, and you can see it in the example in the analogy that he's using. Go ahead,
CJ. You just brought something to light about this tweet I wasn't even thinking about now. Since your analogy, so look at what he compares to be his room in his house compared to what he does not. So in helping the Western Ukrainian fascists, that's cleaning his room. But the war crimes in Africa, oh, that's a whole different house, nigga. I ain't worried about that shit. That's not my house. They are saying that war crimes that happen in other countries, that's not a room in my house. I don't care. So this white guy is saying Ukraine is a room in my house. It's white people that we gotta support. And like Bree said, at least Joe, because he was cornered, and I see many people do this on Twitter as well when they cornered on this, they at least admit that they are willing to sacrifice Ukrainians to uphold their geopolitical world order. You literally had EU officials. The leader in the EU said, it doesn't matter how many, like, we want to go through as many Ukrainians as possible because it's so important to weaken Russia right now, because if Russia wins, it will mark a shift on the geopolitical world stage. So they are literally sacrificing Ukrainians to prevent Putin from getting a geopolitical victory. The people who claim they support Ukrainians, they will call Bree, they will call us, they were like, oh my God, you guys are so heartless. You don't care about the Ukrainian people. While you guys are literally killing them just because you're too coward to do it. You literally want Ukrainians to die so you guys can get a geopolitical victory over Putin. Which one of us sound like they care about Ukrainians? Only one of us.
Sounds pretty clear to me. So
I have one quick receipt I can share as well.
Yeah.
Because it is on the whole Bree meltdown, and I'm sure you all get to some more. This real quick. You see the pushback that Bree's getting. We only showed you a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. When you go to these Briahna Joy Gray tweets on Twitter, hundreds of NAFO people are responding to each tweet. So I want to emphasize that we only showing you a small amount. And you want to know what is a common theme? Because I was scrolling through a lot of them this morning, looking at the response, like, what the fuck? You want to know what a common theme? A bunch of white neocons furious that they do not have a manager to call on Bree. They think, because they see Bree's description where she talks about how she's a former press secretary of Bernie Sanders. I'm gonna show you guys just a few examples. You guys see Bree's put former national press secretary for Bernie Sanders, right? And as we explained, Joe did exactly what she claimed Bree did, where he sicked his mob on her. So there's this mob that is attacking Bree, all of them with Ukraine flags, by the way. A lot of them, I should say. And you see they are trying to call Bernie, tag Bernie as if you're going to see it. Even tags Bernie because they think that Bernie Sanders is her manager. They see this black woman speaking truth about the power that be, and these white neoliberals, let's look at this guy's profile picture. They was like, someone get her manager. Who's the white man that is in charge of Bree? We need to find who's the white man that let her free. Who's the white man that gave her the permission to say this stuff? I'm telling you guys
openly that she already dropped Bernie.
In Rome, that's an important point, because why are they making this point? Because none of them know who Bree is. Mm-hmm. Not one of them seen this video. Mm-hmm. So the reason I say that because they click on her profile because they're like, who's this black motherfucker talking shit? And they only see this. Former national press secretary for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, so they think that's where they gotta go. tries to get her. That's her manager. That was her last manager. Is how they looking at it. Go back to the last manager if you can't find the current one, right?
Like he can do something. What are you gonna say, Briahna? You can say you know you have the freedom to say whatever you want. You don't work for me.
They really calling her manager. I just pulled 2, but I promise you. Look, literally, there are 5,000 replies to this tweet. How many quote tweets? 1,500. Jesus fucking Christ. And guys, we only pull a few because obviously we can't go through. So I'm gonna read a few. And this got 620 likes, 620 neocons that want to call Briahna Joy Gray's manager. Bernie Sanders, as an Ukrainian, I'm curious how this woman was ever your press secretary for the 2020 election. Did she pass a little genocide and people's sufferings? I know she's no longer with you. However, she built her brand on your name. Here's another one.
Go on his page, bro. Let me see his page.
Yeah, I'll go there. Let me read this last one. Look at this one. This is the congressperson. I didn't see this. I didn't know that was him that replied. Apparently, who she responded to? Yeah. All right. So this actually responds to what you showed earlier. Apparently, she's the former press secretary for Bernie Sanders. Obviously, Bernie hasn't said anything that's ridiculous, but it's shocking that someone disconnected thinks as poorly as this. So they all tagging Bernie, and they all want Bernie to be like, "Will you scold her? You, her manager, scold her." And they are furious because Bree's like, "Nigga, I work on my own." you got, unlike the Cowardly Squad, and I give Bree a ton of credit for this. Unlike the Cowardly Squad, she is holding firm. She's literally laughing and jabbing at these motherfuckers. And that's exactly what AOC and Bernie should have did if they were real leaders. All the tears, fuck y'all, I'm right. I don't give a fuck what you say. Right? So, and that's kind of in the same reason why I was more than happy and we decided to change the name from Fred Hampton Leftist. Because a lot of people, and I literally showed the evidence when we did our stream. There was people that would hate my Reddit. I'd be like, "Oh, we should vote against the Democratic Party. Fuck Jim Crow Joe." Then a ton of these white liberals, the same people that are doing this to Bree right now, they was going on Fred Hampton Jr. Facebook page and like, "Do you guys see what Fred Hampton Left is saying? Hey, you guys do." They was like trying to use Fred Hampton Jr.
That's
as
some
our
weak
manager.
ass shit, man. That's
and
some
when we talked about it, when
shit.
we changed our name, we was like, one of the reasons why we want to change our name because we want to stop that shit from happening. We want to be our own entity. Every time we would say something that shit lives hate, I saw that they would swarm Fred Hampton Jr.'s Facebook page, swarm his YouTube comments. Like, do you see what the Fred Hampton Leftist said? So these people, whenever they see black people step out of line, their first instinct, who's in charge of this motherfucker?
Right. Who is in charge of the Negroes? That is exactly what they do. And that's an American tradition. Who's in charge of the Negroes? But now let's go to the publicly posted video. So this is the one that's like 30 minutes long. We've already seen parts of it. So, but we're going to watch it. There's a lot that he said, because I know, Nick, you haven't watched it. There's a lot that is said here that's just, it's ridiculous. But let's listen.
There is no quarter for an
Oops. Especially when they get to the Tulsi Gabbard part, that's the part that's really funny to me.
There is no quarter for an anti-war movement in the United States and America except for on the right side of the aisle. It's been confirmed by the retraction of this letter.
No.
Until Vladimir Zelensky personally decides the war should be over, it's a blank check to Ukraine. People won't stand for that. People aren't standing for it, and people are going to the Republican Party as a consequence.
Everybody understands that this war has to end in a negotiated settlement.
So why is it so controversial for people to say that in the left?
That's what I'm getting at, because it's this method of doing it. This is in America's interest to promote these people and this struggle.
I'm sorry, when I see someone like Matt flip-flop the way that he has done.
No, that is absolutely not true. Can I ask you, have you talked to Ukrainians about this?
Yes.
Then you go to the end of the letter and it says, this is the primary aim of U.S. policy should be to end this war.
Should it not be? So let's take on this charge brought up midway and also at the end there that this is a letter that is urging a kind of colonial adventure that disregards the autonomy and of Ukraine and Ukrainians. You pointed to some section at the end of the letter, which you were referencing to make that point. And I want you to tell me where that was, because when I glanced at the end of the letter, here's what I read. We agree with the administration's perspective that it is not America's place to pressure Ukraine's government regarding sovereign decisions. And with the principle you have enunciated that there should be nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. That's a quote from Biden, I believe. But as legislators responsible for the expenditure of tens of billions of U.S. taxpayer dollars and military assistance in the conflict, we believe such involvement in this war also creates a responsibility for the United States to seriously explore all possible avenues, including direct engagement with Russia, to reduce harm and support Ukraine in achieving a peaceful settlement.
Mhm.
So help me understand why it is that billions of dollars of investment by America is not considered to be a colonial intervention or a large powers trying to influence an outcome in a conflict that is separate and apart from our own, but conditioning that money not a claim to withdraw the money, not a threat to do anything to stem the money, frankly, in this letter, but simply a conversation about wanting to facilitate negotiations instead of doing what the State Department has articulated, which is being willing to fight this with a blank check to the very last Ukrainian, apparently, despite the obvious military advantages of Russia as a nuclear power, which is what we were talking about last time you were on the show. Why is giving the money not about giving them billions of dollars of money, not interfering with Ukrainian independence, but conditioning that money on having peace negotiations, an imperial endeavor or colonial?
That is such a great question, Rome, that she says here. She's saying, because he's trying to say, if you condition the money for, like, you have to, there has to be a peace requirement, then that's like you're trying to be a colonial power over them. But then she's saying, then how come giving them the money is not the same thing? Right. Which is a great point. Let's get back to the rest of the conversation.
This is why he didn't want anybody to actually watch it. He sent his army. He knew people was gonna attack this black woman. They always know that she's an easy target in these spaces because she's further left than them, but she has somehow cracked through their walls of and got where she's at now. And they hate that for her. And so then now they're trying to pull the rug from up under her for not following the line, which I don't think that the Rising should do anything about. If anything, I think it helps them anyway. Controversy really helps anyway. So
yeah, I don't think they're gonna do anything. But I think this is a great question. I want Nick to hear it so that you can be part of.
I was listening.
You heard it. Okay, so good. All right, so then let's continue the video further, and then we'll kind of chime in just a little more.
Right. So maybe it's helpful to think about it this way: France helped the American revolutionaries with money, troops, strategy, blockades in our war of independence against Britain. And that would give them a certain sort of buy-in or right to a revolution. But if they had come to Alexander Hamilton and George Washington and said, we're now going to negotiate an end to your revolution, we're going to negotiate directly with England, we would be outraged. But that's implied, and I believe explicitly stated in this letter. That's the part that's objectionable, and it's in the last.
So he's saying it's objectionable, and he's saying that's us trying to exert colonial power. Oh, I mean, this is true to me. This is truly disgusting. Yeah. That the imperialist core is trying to accuse somebody of using imperialist, colonialist type behavior. Go ahead.
Doesn't it show that they are way smarter than they appear? And remember what I say in my commentary all the time, where these people pretend to be dumb? For example, guys, George W. Bush did not have a Southern accent. He pretended to be dumb to trick you people. He did. Oh, man, George Bush is a dummy. No, he knew exactly what he was doing. That George Bush is not dumb. These people are not. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're talking about. So after seeing the anti-war movement grew under Barack Obama, nigga, they see what the anti-war left is saying. They see the language that we're using. They just pretend they don't. So then whenever they got to weaponize those language, all of a sudden they sound like they're watching RBN.
Yeah, I know. And that's what they're doing.
Colonial activities. And like, for example, the Western media learned what the word imperialism was for the very first time in the year 2022. Mm-hmm. You would never, ever hear them use that term imperialism before 2022 describing any U.S. intervention. Now in 2022, every single New York Times writer, every single Washington Post writer, they all of a sudden discovered the word imperialism now.
They just say we were wrong. We were wrong about Afghanistan. We were wrong. No, motherfucker, y'all niggas. That's crazy. These people are psychopaths.
Paragraph that says we should, in conclusion, we urge you to, among other things, engage in direct talks with Russia.
Well,
and
it says,
that's what Jamie. Go ahead.
I can read it for you. In conclusion, we urge you to make vigorous diplomatic efforts in support of a negotiated settlement and ceasefire, engage in direct talks with Russia, explore prospects for a new European security arrangement applicable to all parties that will allow for a sovereign and independent Ukraine, and in coordination with our Ukrainian partners, seek a rapid end to the conflict and reiterate this goal as America's chief priority.
It's funny how he labels, at the imperialist core, the ruling class is labeling, forcing, let's say that's the language they use, force a negotiated peace settlement. That's colonial behavior, but what's happening in Palestine is not.
Exactly.
That's absurd. That is just ridiculous.
You don't want to, the reason why
so they
don't want to talk on this is because of the fact that we are funding those, you know what I'm saying, those genocides.
Exactly.
They can't talk on it because it shows the hypocrisy. So they say, oh, it's whataboutism or whatever the fuck they try to spin it. But no. If you're going to talk about bringing peace, let's bring peace. Let's talk about what's really going on. Let's talk about, if you want to talk about kids and women being raped, man, you haven't seen, you know what I'm saying? If you saw, if we all lived through Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, we know what happened out there. We know people were being tortured by American soldiers, right? So yes, it's time for us to clean our own backyard before we even speak on some shit. And go ahead, man. If we was really using that money for peace would have been done.
Exactly. All the money we spent on peace could have been done 4 times, 6 times over in just the last 50 years alone. If you take the amount of money, you're talking about trillions of dollars, trillions.
And war.
You could have literally give everybody $1 million and still had, like, it's ridiculous.
Every time they go out and say, we're about to go help somebody, we're about to go help somebody, they come back with their gold and their oil. Yeah. All you Americans sitting here like,
so we
every fucking time.
We got quite a few super chats that we gotta read through. I don't know if we're gonna try to get through all of them at the end. I'll read this one because this thing for $5. I just saw this. Susan, this attack on Bree calls me shame by association. What an ignorant group of people. They care. I assume that they care about themselves only and pretend actually to be dumb. And I just want you guys to know that whenever we see these imperialists who pretend that this society is better than for example, that racist EU guy who said, "Oh, we gotta protect our society. Our society is an amazing city while everyone else is a jungle." The reason why I'm pointing out the insane ideology of these people is to let you know that the West, the United States, and UK, they are more crazy than what they deem their enemies to be. And let me repeat that. Yes. So everything they say about Nicolas Maduro, everything they say about Putin, they are but more. And you see it when we do these breakdowns. No one else do these breakdowns like we do. We're showing these Western chauvinists, white liberals, and we explain to you, this is why they are just as radical, just as insane as the most evil tyrants that we demonize. But go ahead, Roma.
Stand then, Joe, because earlier you mentioned, rightly so, that there are open diplomatic channels. Lloyd Austin just spoke with his counterpart in Russia, and the critique has been that it shouldn't only be the Defense Department having direct negotiations with Russia. There should be diplomatic negotiations with Russia. So the fact that there being open channels seems to, undermine the idea that the channels are in fact the issue.
Right. Let's do 2 things here. One, sure. Let me go back to that first paragraph.
He does this quite a few times where she'll bring up a good point and he just kind of skips over it and starts talking about something else. He does this a couple times. You
said they agree with the administration's perspective that it's not America's place to pressure Ukraine's government. Interesting point. Perspective rather than position. But then they state that, and then the second sentence produces that wonderful word, but that then says, but we have this special responsibility because we're paying for this, right? And there's a certain logic to that. That's not untrue. But the two things are not connected. So the first sentence does not condition the second sentence. And as a result, what you see in this letter is that Ukraine's
this is a CIA tactic. This is a CIA tactic where you're coming in and you're just saying a bunch of just word salad nonsense, and now you got us arguing the argument, and it's like that's what he's doing. Go ahead.
That's literally a CIA tactic. Remember the part? I think it's number 2 when it said give super long-winded speeches like that.
Yes,
like that had nothing to do with what you talking about. You try. So Bree was very on point, very specific. Now, literally, after listening to this guy, the average person like, "I barely remember what Bree fucking said."
Right.
What are you talking about, man? This is on purpose. Like I'm literally listening to him. Like, what the fuck is your point?
They do the same shit.
Let's continue it so I can debunk it. But go ahead, Rome, if you want.
Prerogatives are recognized.
I was gonna say they do the same shit with their tweets. When they say something totally unpopular, but it be like so many motherfuckers. Like, I ain't reading that shit.
A 26-page thread on why we should vote Democrat in 2022, and it's paragraphs and paragraphs. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. It's paragraph and paragraph of bullshit. But go ahead, let's play with the video.
Recognized, but they're placed in a subordinate position. They're secondary. That is, the U.S. will have direct talks with Russia and arrive at some kind of agreement towards a ceasefire and whatever a new European security arrangement is supposed to be. And then they will get the approval of Ukraine. So it does say we're not going to do this without Ukrainian approval. That's true. But they're then placed in a secondary position. That's what Jamie Raskin is talking about when he calls this a colonialist reflex, that we're the great...
Nick, you think they freaking... That is so tactical how they came up with that excuse. And this is the reason why he keeps referring back to that guy, because he's part of this whole narrative that he's trying to sell. That's why I'm going back to Jamie Raskin, because they're in a subordinate position. You see imperialists trying to give other people colonialist traits. It's ridiculous. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly on point. We can keep it playing. We can keep playing.
Great power.
Help me understand this, though, Joe, because there's a world where someone says, you know what, this is none of our business. We shouldn't be influencing what happens in Ukraine. And therefore, we're not going to give them $80 billion and they can work out this conflict on their own. Why on earth is the United States of America, a country thousands of miles away with no relationship to Ukraine, which is not a NATO country? Why should it be involved in this conflict at all? The problem is, Joe, the willingness to accept the money. Let's take your analogy. If we are accepting money from France and France wants us to do something, negotiate a certain outcome to the Revolutionary War, etc., and we don't want to do it, we can easily say, all right, the choices are to, and again, this is not even what the letter contemplates. The letter does not threaten any withdrawal of funds. But the vaguest suggestion that the people who are funding this war in large part should want to make sure that the war is coming to the quickest conclusion possible, and that is that there's not an expectation that there.
Super real quick, I just want to let you guys know, as you hear Bree talk, this is the person that all the unhinged Twitter replies were calling a genocide denier, a subhuman fascist. Does this sound like a subhuman fascist to you? A genocide denier? These people are the biggest liars, the biggest propagandists, and the most evil people on the planet because they know what they're doing. So go ahead, CJ.
That there's a limitless spigot of funding for them to continue to have a fight that they cannot win strategically all out warfare because of the asymmetry between the powers of these two countries. Why shouldn't it be the case that America makes it clear that there is going to be some end to the funding and that negotiations, good faith negotiations, should be a part of the active goal here?
Yeah. Well, there are, of course, limits on our funding and our involvement with Ukraine. And the president has made this very clear. And I think Biden deserves a lot of credit for giving enormous aid to Ukraine, but not doing anything that escalates the conflict. And that's why he's putting limits on the kinds of weapons.
He's saying that Joe Biden is not trying to, I can't believe he's saying this. He's saying that Joe Biden is not trying to escalate.
With a straight face.
That Ukraine.
Yes.
$80 billion say That tells me
No, I saw this.
some shit.
Now I saw this video before this stuff happened. Before I saw this stuff happen, and when I was watching it, what my reaction was. He's saying a lot of stuff as if he's believing the narrative that's coming out of the State Department and the CIA.
Yes,
like,
CJ,
why is he not? He's acting like he's believing the story.
Yes,
Go ahead, Nick.
Remember what I said at the very beginning of the stream on how you guys' feelings hurt because he thought he killed it? This guy is in a Washington, D.C. bubble. I explained this earlier before, and that's why he got so upset. Oh my God, the peasants are criticizing my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Literally for generations, the oligarch fucks can say and do whatever they want, and they don't have to hear the opinion of the peasantry. Even on the internet, you guys talked about yesterday, you guys said something I didn't even know. Like apparently if you got blue check on Twitter, you only see other blue checks. I didn't even know that. I think it was you guys who said that, right? Maybe someone else. But
yeah, somebody said that.
Someone said that. But so the point is these people are extremely insular, and they are and this is the entire Democrat Party, Republican Party, did Washington bubble swamp, right? Where he's saying these talking points, here other people saying these talking points, and he's like, and there's a part of him we probably like, yeah, this is the objective fact. And of course, the peasantry will listen to us because we are in a position of power. We are their superiors. So if we are saying this, they must accept it as fact. And this is probably one of the few times ever in his life he got dismantled by the position of the proletariat, with Bree representing that, with Bree arguing on behalf of peace. And then he said the reaction to the proletariat, like, oh my God. he can't believe it because
he's like, let me stick my petty bourgeois team on the proletariat representative. That's what they're saying.
Go ahead.
That's basically saying now I'm not gonna use that. Let's do this. 60 billion somehow is not escalating the war. How is it not escalating if you keep funding the weapons?
It's also escalation. And these people wouldn't pretend this is not the fact. The fact that Zelensky in Ukraine was actually willing to negotiate with Russia in the middle of the summer, and then you had the Biden administration put pressure on them to do that. In April, when you had Boris Johnson in the UK pressure Zelensky and the Ukrainian regime, who was like, man, this war about to be bad for us. And then Boris Johnson in the West, like, nigga, if you pull out this war, there's going to be a false flag where Russia kills you. Just saying.
So Nick, I already had this. I had this video already set and queued up to go. But since you bringing it up, because he's actually going to bring that up. He's going to bring up.
I love it. You have this. I love it.
Yeah. So I have this already set. This is the Gray Zone on the show Pushback with Aaron Mate. Let's listen. This is let me make sure I get the title. But this is a
Swiss, I can only imagine Boris Johnson and Joe
Swiss
Biden
officer.
Was like, yeah, they probably was like, yeah, you guys can advocate for peace if you want, but there may be a headline news about 2 months from now that's saying that Zelensky was assassinated by Russia. I'm saying that could be a headline. If you don't want to work with us, you could be assassinated by Putin. And that's what they tell them. They're like, oh shit, fuck.
by Putin. By Putin.
You're gonna be assassinated by a lone actor if you advocate for peace. But go ahead, CJ.
But let's read who this person is. This video we're gonna play. This is the former Swiss intelligence officer and NATO advisor Jacob Bob on the next phase of Russia-Ukraine war and new allegiance that the US and UK undermined a peace deal that could have ended. Now, this is September that he interviewed him. So that's who this person is on the screen. Nick brought up how they because Joe is gonna bring this up too, about negotiating peace. And then I was going to bring this up when it got to that video, but Nick brought it up. Let's play it.
Russia. That's my feeling.
One aspect of Vladimir Putin's speech that's gotten close to no attention in the U.S., it's been mentioned a couple of times, for example, by David Ignatius, who's a columnist for the Washington Post. But otherwise, it's been ignored. And that is when Putin said, and he said he was making this public for the first time, that Ukraine and Russia were very, very close to a peace agreement back in March, but that, in his words, Ukraine was ordered to wreck any compromise by the West.
I want to say that publicly for the first time, after the start of a special military operation, also at the Istanbul negotiations, there was a very positive reaction to our proposals. concerning ensuring the security of Russia. But it was obvious that the West was not happy with the peaceful decision. So after reaching certain compromises, they
You're not gonna see that clip
effectively
on
were given
MSNBC.
direct.
Say again?
CJ, that's a clip they're not going to show on MSNBC. They never show Putin speaking.
Yeah,
But go ahead,
speaking
CJ. I know you
directly.
want to chime in.
They never show him speaking directly, and this is because then people can just translate what he said without them telling you what he's doing.
Exactly.
Order to undermine the negotiations.
Are you familiar with the details of this? And by the way, I should say also that Fiona Hill, who is a former White House expert, also recently corroborated this by saying in Foreign Affairs that U.S. officials knew that there was the outline of a peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia. It was basically premised on Russia returning to its pre-invasion lines, and in exchange, Ukraine declares neutrality and recognizes Russian control of the Russian-speaking regions of Ukraine, certain ones, not all of them, obviously, and Ukraine received security guarantees from the West. But now Hill left out what Putin said, and was also being reported in Ukrainian media, that the West refused to support these agreements.
Absolutely, and that's in my book. Actually, it's in my last book, Operation Z, and that I mentioned that already in my previous book. That's wrong. Only in this book, I mentioned that. The fact is that you had three attempts to have an agreement so far between Russia and Ukraine. The first one started at the request of Zelensky on the 25th of February, so just one day after the start of the offensive, and Zelensky asked to have a negotiation with the Russians, and you had a first a round of negotiation that started at the Belarus border, and this was stopped, in fact, by the European Union. The European Union, 2 days after the Zelensky request, the European Union came with the first package of weapons. That was a package of 450 million euros for weapons, and with the idea that it should not be negotiated with Vladimir Putin, we should just fight. And in March, you had exactly the same scenario. Zelensky approached the Russians with this offer, and 2 days after he made his offer to the Russians, by the way, the European Union came again, exactly the same thing as the first time. Again, the European Union came with a second package of 500 million euros for weapons. And in addition to that, Boris Johnson called Zelensky to ask him to withdraw his offer. Otherwise, all the supports will be cut. And
we can stop it there. But you heard everything. Like, so when we go back to Joe, when Joe says about the kidnapped kids, when Joe says we're trying to help these people, one day after the invasion, there was a peace deal that the United States. Now, is it considered colonial, whatever he says, colonial reflux or colonial whatever, is it considered colonial to stop a peace deal from happening and those people dying? Go ahead, Nick, Rome.
So, sir, Rome, you have anything? We're about to. Do y'all know if you have any? We're about 2 hours. Rome, you have anything you want to add? Oh, you muted. Check your audio.
He's muted.
No, not really. I'm just sitting back thinking like these people are evil, man. They know what they're doing. You know, they're just hiding under white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? They're little. They love sucking on the and living under the bosom of white supremacy, and they would die to you know what I'm saying, to keep that power, even if it's the little powers that America have. You know, they're willing to go out. They're willing to take us out for it. It's like, but they see that, you know what I'm saying, China is getting stronger, Russia is getting stronger. They have to stop these people. Petrodollar falling. a lot of these people lose power, man. You know, a lot of these people, they're gonna have to answer for these war crimes with the less power that America holds. And this is one thing that they really fear is losing power on that scale to be persecuted. Stop being persecuted because they are. This is why they avoid certain groups and certain groups around the world that actually hold politicians accountable. You know, but
let me show you guys this because this is something I mentioned earlier. Thank God I didn't forget to share this. Remember when I said you guys saw Joe, the neocon, that is apparently so concerned with the Ukrainian people. Apparently, Briahna Joy Gray, RBN, and all the black left and all the left in general that's calling for peace. Apparently, we are subhuman fascists who don't care about Ukrainian people. I gotta repeat for this part of the segment: the only people who care about Ukrainian lives are the people who are looking for peace. Are we clear? The plan of the West is to allow as many Ukrainians to die as possible to enact their preferred geopolitical outcome. So the people who claim they care about the Western Ukrainians, in fact, they are the one who care the least. The only people they care about in Ukraine are the people who support Western hegemonic dominance and the Kiev fascist regime that is maintaining so under the threat of violence. Under the threat of violence, it was also playing on the gray zone. The Azov Battalion, they're fascist thugs. They attack people who go against their narrative, go against their political goals. So I'm gonna show you this. I know this could be a little bit triggering. I'm gonna mute it. The audio is even harder to watch. I'll play a low volume. But this is Ukraine Nazis beat Russian-speaking civilians in Ukraine, part 2. And you can find a lot of these videos. I'll share them all the time on YouTube on here. But these videos all over the place. I know this could be traumatizing, so I'll cut it off there because it's a very traumatizing video. That is 20 seconds of a 2-minute video of an ethnic Russian speaker being beat by the Nazis that we are warning you guys about. Joe, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Ilhan Omar do not give a fuck about that Ukrainian on the ground right there. Isn't that the greatest irony? The people who claim they're standing for Ukrainians, nothing to say about the Romani people being tied to poles, stripped naked.
About to say that.
I just want to add that last part. I have literally a quick 5-minute story about Scott Ritter. We can make it like a super short clip, but otherwise I'll pass it to you guys, and then I've had to bounce.
Do you want to do super chats before the story?
Or
super chats. Super chats and then do that story. Do the super chats and then do that story.
Yeah, because that story, it literally, I just want to cut it to like a 5-minute clip on YouTube, so I don't think it's gonna be that long. We're pretty much gonna cover. So stay tuned. We're gonna cover how Scott Ritter was banned, and I'm scared for Bree, man. Like they gonna take. I literally just saw them.
The military-industrial complex. Yeah, they.
Man, I saw that. I showed you guys a tweet earlier. The stream. I didn't see that till we was live, and Patreon responded. So Bree may not have a platform that much longer. You see what they doing to Scott Ritter. I'm being dead honest. Like, and the reason why I say that is because Bree to this hour is still going hard. Like she, unlike the weak ass, pussy ass squad, Bree is not backing down because she got a little pressure. She's dope. I'm gonna show you guys a snippet of her timeline. Now we get to super chats. The show wild.
Yeah, I saw that too. She was like, "I ain't going no, like, nah, this ain't. I'm gonna stand my ground."
I'm gonna show you, like, she's not fighting. She's not backing down. There are all these screenshots that she have, all the racist tweets that she's letting people know about as well. And this is someone else who's trying to
wait. You don't have Joe. You don't have Joe's pushback. You don't have Joe's pushback about the all the racist tweets. Can you show Joe talking about how he pushed back against it? Because he called her out for not pushing back against the people that was responding to her video. Remember? So is Joe pushing back to this racist stuff that Briahna's getting?
Bree just called him out for it.
Can you read that?
She said, "No, I'm just where I want to be. You can keep hanging around these folks, though." So she called out the fact that while he was mad because Bree didn't, renounce her supporters who calling this idiot out, but he's not renouncing the people who sending Bree insane racist pictures. And this someone she must saw that Bernie Sanders receipt. I want to find the other one I saw earlier. This is what we literally was breaking down during the stream. And this is what Bree tweeted an hour ago, talking about how the NAFO accounts are literally were funded by Nazis and praised by. This is the receipts. I'm glad Bree posted for us. With NAFO, Ukraine turned the trolls on Russia. This is an example of the Washington Post supporting that Nazi troll farm. And Bree is not letting them go. He's like, nah, bro, fam.
They gotta go, bro.
So they're gonna take her down. They probably will. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, shit, we got her back. She got.
Yeah, that's what I said. The black left, man. Like, if you're black, how you sitting here while you're watching the empire attack black anti-war voices while supporting Nazis? That's why I said on my
where's
tweet.
Nina Turner? Where's Nina Turner? What'd she say about it? About all this?
Not a goddamn thing. And that's why. Let's see if I can find my tweet. Well, not that important, but that's why I said that's why I was talking about the black left, because some people was like, "Why are you mentioning the black left? It's everyone that been censored." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm sending a message to every single person who's black who consider themselves radical. Do you guys see what they're doing to Bree?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if we had large disagreement with Bree, this is unacceptable. Why are we, as a black anti-establishment movement, allowing Nazis to gang on one of our more popular independent media content creators? If Nazis were swarming Black Power media, I would do the same stream. Why are we allowing this to happen? That's why I sent my tweet out like the black left, we should already did it, but especially after the dog power they did on Bree, we need to declare offensive war against the NATO Nazi supporting clowns like Bernie Sanders, like Joe. Like that shit is unacceptable now. Like, if you're black on the left, we need to be offensively and aggressively challenging these people. And I know we don't got a big platform, but this is my plea to anyone who's watching. And I sent a tweet. Thank God that tweet got like 3,000 likes. Like, I see a lot of black people liking it. Like, yeah, what the fuck is going on? I'm trying to wake up our community. We need to fight these fucks the same way that MLK fought the warmongers, the same way Fred Hampton fought these warmongers. Why are we sitting back talking about Kanye fucking West while this is happening? Why the fuck are we talking about any random pop culture bullshit while our people are under attack by the police state, while black people are being attacked for opposing Nazis in war? Let's get our heads straight. And that's why I came with Heat this stream, because I want to get you guys fired up too. Because I'm watching this shit. I text you at 2 a.m. CJ. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? This is crazy. Meanwhile, I didn't get super chats. I'm going too long.
Let me just do the like. Let me do the like while you get the super chats all set up. But like this video. Last time I checked, we're at 750 likes. Can we push that to 800 likes? We have several hundred people that haven't liked the stream yet. So let's get 50 more likes. Let's get to 800. Also, if you're watching this on replay and you wish you saw this on live, or you just got here 2 hours in and you're like, wow, I wish I was here live to see the whole show, join our mailing list. We send out notifications of when we're going to go live, generally 30 minutes up to 2 hours before. Like today, I think this was 2 hours before. So like this stream, join our Substack. Back to you, Nick.
Let's read super chats. And I swear the Scott Rivers story literally gonna be super quick. Literally just a 5-minute segment we probably can cut. But anyway, let's get to the super chats and we get out of here. Thank you for the $5. Radical leftist extremist. I'm not gonna lie, this is the comment I took the idea from when I said this earlier, because I saw your great comment. FYI, guys, Bernie Sanders is gonna be in Philadelphia for a rally on Sunday. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. You guys see what?
Damn the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Get y'all asses out there and protest.
Fair enough. And I'll tell you, if any of y'all, because I know y'all got eyes on this, like the DNC ops. I know for a fucking fact you guys do. If you're managing and you're a part of the team of anyone of the squad, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Ilhan Omar, Jamal Bowman, you better not tell them motherfuckers go Kansas City. You better scratch that city off. I'm telling you guys right now, I can't do this shit because I don't got political events. Like, political events here is really rare. Really rare. You're not like DC. I'm telling you guys, if any of y'all squad members come to Kansas City, then you're going to hold a Pratt rally, guess who's going to be there to call you out? Nazis. I promise you. It's war. I'm telling you, it's fucking war. I'm done. Especially after... It always been done, but especially after this, after I've been, like, for me, I got thick skin, so I didn't give a fuck when they go after me. But I've seen Black in the Empire, another comrade, constantly, another black leftist anti-war activist, constantly attacked by NATO and their white Nazi sympathizing goose. And once again, Bridges is a symptom of a larger problem that I see. Black and Empire is one. There's Margaret Kimberly is another. There are all these black commentators that white America is trying to ostracize because we are following in the traditions of opposing militarism like MLK, Fred Hampton, Malcolm X, and many others. But anyway, I keep ranting out. This is a rainy day for me. Thank you for $5, Redactive. How do you guys feel about people of color being called coons and house ends? Oh, see,
we say that all the time. We just did a stream that's called house niggas.
See, and I want to make this clear. That's our language that we use. Extremely disrespectful. If you white and you calling people coons, I hate Candace Owens, but it makes me cringe to death when I see white liberals calling her a coon. I call her a coon. That's not your judgment to make.
Yeah,
we are not a monolith. There are black people who think differently than us, and that's okay. And it's our job to persuade them. Do not use racial terms because liberals do that to me all the time. I'll show you guys receipts of them call me Uncle Tom. And honestly, I don't like. I really do recoil when I see that against. When I see white liberals do that against Candace Owens. You guys can get mad at me all you want, but that's our language.
You don't have to get mad. Let me explain. I can just explain it. It's real simple. Names like Coon and Uncle Tom, these are names specific to what that person is being done to that community. You're not a part of the community to be able to say it because the person is not being a coon to you.
Yeah,
they're not being a coon to you. So you saying that, you get what I'm saying? You can't say it. They're being a coon to the black community. So just look at it that way.
This is a base super chat. I remember seeing this one earlier. The Democratic Party loves black women until they have to listen to their opinions.
Yes.
The Democratic Party who support women of color as long as they support all our geopolitical wars and regime change and the police war against their own communities. And once you guys do that, oh shit, there's this article. And I won't.
Then you're Stacey Abrams. Then you're Stacey Abrams.
That remind me of a question I asked before. Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you feel like they're? I wonder how that mother feel after voting for Democrats. They get a police more money, and her son get killed by the police for being black in his own neighborhood. That's fucked up.
That's a great point.
Thank you for the $5. Israel, I'm saying the last thing. I appreciate it. That's not always true with the Twitter handle. I think this is when me talking about the bots. I changed my name and it became a bunch of numbers at the end of my name. You know you can change that, right? And I'm telling I'm telling you guys right now. If I see a bunch of numbers by your name and you're using the same name, your same Twitter handle as your ad, I'm gonna assume you're a bot because 99% of Twitter users don't do that. And if you're one of people like Israel. I changed my name. I used to be the progressive martial artist. Now I'm like, fuck the progressive movement. I changed that shit. You can change your Twitter handle. You can change that shit whenever you want. Just a heads up to this person. But for the most part, I'm telling you guys, this is a Twitter hack. I'm on Twitter a lot. If you see someone with the same Twitter ad and Twitter screen name, and they got numbers in the back, that's a bot, guaranteed. I promise you.
If they have numbers, they don't even gotta have all that stuff for me. If there's numbers at the end, that is like a person doesn't type in a number as their name, like that's not what people do, in my opinion.
I'm not being paranoid, guys. There are literally studies that show that 75% of Twitter accounts are fake.
Yeah.
So we do not have to give people benefit of doubt. Enjoy Twitter. I don't know why people stress about it. I get attacked all the time on Twitter. I still don't give a fuck. Twitter is not stressful to me. You just gotta understand what's going on. You gotta understand who on your side, who's not on your side. And whenever you see bots attacking you, don't get depressed when you see an obvious bot attack you. I see people do it all the time. Like, that's obviously a bot. Chill, bro. But anyway, I don't want to rant too much on that. Let's get to the $2. Bad fella 511. Joe spit sewage and
call it shit. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Right. That's a good super chat. I'm gonna try to get through these little fast.
You're attacking me.
Thank you for the $10. They tried to cancel Bree. Did they attack Roe for standing firm on the letter? Always attacking black women. Great point. I'm gonna try to be faster on these. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the $4.99. I can rant on that. You guys are so base. I can rant on almost any of these super chats. You guys be setting me up. I'm like, God, I just gotta read it. Move on. We got like 17 more. 17 in general, I think. This guy is either delusional or part of the U.S. propaganda squad, or both. Thank you for the $4.99. Oh shit, my nostrils fucked up. Why I leave off that? Oh, there it is. This one I laughed at earlier. That was a great joke, CJ. Captain Save It Joe. Thank you for $5. Thank you for $10. Hulk Hogan giant. You almost got me. You almost got me. That's a funny ass name. I want to say that. Entitled liberal professional managerial class who always tell you to read the New York Times and you just don't understand, acting as if they are the world's police. I might just jump on calling, dude. I literally got to talk to you because I see a ton of base. I can't wait to see what our community say about this. I actually might jump either if not tonight, I'm gonna do it tomorrow on this topic because you guys see how much I had to rant. I apologize. I know I talk too damn much. It's strange, but I can't wait because every single one of these super chats are fire for the most part, and in the chats I see. So I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. This is our friend Black in the Empire, the guy I was talking about earlier. One of our friends, a Black anti-war activist, just like Bree, smeared by NAFO and NATO all the time. But his tweets is fire. He gets thousands of likes on all of them, so he'd be all right. I was letting you guys know. We see you. I just want the white people to watch the stream. No, we see you, motherfuckers, and we see what you're doing.
They don't call none of these motherfuckers out. They don't say nothing, and we don't want to get attacked neither. Well, bitch, how the fuck you think we feel? Do something about it though.
Go ahead.
This thing for $2, miss. If you can't convince them, confuse them. That's exactly what Joe and the NATO propagandists are doing. Thank you for $2, Andre. Can we organize coordinated anti-war mobilizations? We need to work on that, and that's something that RBN, as we grow, we definitely would do. Like, especially my chapter, nigga, my chapter. Like, if we ever grow and I can grow this to my vision, my chapter is gonna go around calling these motherfuckers out on war. Once again, we talk a lot of shit. We trying to get this shit done, but that's definitely gonna happen. So I 100% agree with this. Something that had to be done. We're super behind on this. There's Solidarity Super Sticker and the Solidarity Super Chat by Ike. Nick on fire. Appreciate it, brother. I totally agree. We need to go on the offensive on NATO Nazi lovers. Yes, I'm glad you guys agree. No more of this stuff where we passively defend. No, we need to go on the offense. And you already see Jose and his people doing that. No more. Oh my God, we're not Putin sympathizers. Please believe us. No. We're not justifying the invasion of Russia. No more of that shit. We are right. You guys are wrong. Shut the fuck up. That's the level where we need to be at right now. No more. No apologizing for our position.
You can't win this war, and even if you do win, start looking like you're winning against Russia, China will step in. I swear, I don't see America even getting far. They will lose again, and it's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be nothing gang but dead bodies.
And this is the last time I'm gonna read just because I saw you started, CJ, and I saw a few people ask this. Will RBN take Bree under your banner if push comes to shove? Guys, we make no fucking money, dude. and this is not a judgment on Bree at all. But we cannot afford Bree. Yeah. Are you serious? if Bree joins RBN, she's gonna be homeless in Washington D.C. So she's friend of the show, and obviously it just doesn't make sense for her to join. That just be 100% real. 100% real. It makes no sense for Bree to join this shit. Unless she just can survive on her saving or something, because I got a very, very low cost of living. I literally just pay for my rent and that's it. So between my Patreon, my Substack, and the little bit I get from RBN, I'm able to sustain myself just because I keep my life very poor. I'm a real socialist. I don't care about material needs and all this material things and all this stuff. But Bree, nigga, we can't afford her. We can't afford her, so it's not gonna happen, guys. But anyway, that's all the super chat. CJ, Rome, you have anything to add? And I swear I'll keep this story.
No. What's the story, so I can give it a title and put it up for you?
Scott Ritter banned on Twitter
again.
Damn.
That's why I went. It fits on this. It fits on this story that we just covered, right?
They trying to get Bree. You know they fucking reporting the shit out of her page.
I saw Scott Ritter come back, and I was like, "Bruh, holy shit." I can't believe they let him back. Wonder how long it's gonna last. That was my thought process. Yeah. And then right as I was thinking that, I saw a few of his tweets like, hell yeah, it's gonna be good ass Scott Ritter back. Banned immediately. Banned immediately. So let me pull up the and that's why I'm fearing for Bree, man, because they keep, and I remember when Scott covered the first time he was banned, where they essentially made up pretty much genocide denial. So if you debunk the bullshit of the West, they will say, "Oh man, you are inciting hate speech. You are harassing people because denying the genocide and suffering that people are going through is a form of harassment." So they use that to ban Scott Ritter because apparently Scott Ritter's tweets was triggering a bunch of Nazi Ukrainians. That's the logic they use. So I really hope it's not true, but I hope Bree's not gone. But anyway, this is just a receipt to show you guys for this quick story. It seems Scott Ritter lost his appeal and has been officially suspended again. Wow. So the West is terrified about the narrative change. Here's Jimmy's response that I saw on this. Scott Ritter got banned for telling the truth about war, not for lying. If he was willing to lie about war, he'd get a job on TV news.
Mm-hmm.
Elon is in bed with the CIA and military-industrial complex. Thank you for saying that, Jimmy. Because that's exactly what I've been telling you guys. He said he's not an oligarch, not a free speech warrior as hoped. The truth does not mind being questioned. A lie do. And remember what I told you guys? Remember what I covered on RB and CJ? When people were celebrating Elon Musk taking over Twitter? I'm like, nigga, if you think he's going to protect anti-war, anti-imperialist voices, when he's a contractor for the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
One of the biggest contractors for the military-industrial complex, and right-wing populist dumbasses thought he was going to be a free speech advocate? Anyway, once again, I'm going to keep this story short. Do you guys want to add anything to that?
No.
Oh, that was it. I thought it.
I was going to keep it. I'll keep it short. I keep 3 minutes segment.
So do we know what? Do we know it was that? Okay, so he got suspended and then he put in an appeal, and while the appeal was going through, they reinstated it, or they just suspended it again, and he just.
I think they should suspend that shit again. Like, nigga, you don't learn.
A second offense, like another offense.
Yep.
The war, just like what's happening to Bree, like you said. The war machine does not. That's one area you cannot play around. That in Israel, but they're kind of connected. That's kind of connected. I guess it's one and the same because it's still the funding of weapons manufacturers, so and imperialism. So they don't fuck around with that. This is the reason why if you're going to be running as a Democrat, oh, you're a progressive, you need to denounce BDS. Fuck that shit. Like you have to have these certain things that you are allowed. Like you said, Nick, you're given permission to disagree. Like Medicare for all, they give that permission a long time ago. Go ahead and say all that stuff. But and the police state, they've given Cori Bush that out. Oh, go ahead and say defund the police. She's the only one that has the ability to say that. That's her one issue. Just like Rashida Tlaib has her one issue with Palestine. But when it comes to the military-industrial complex, and you saw what happened with Bree, they're not playing with that shit. And it doesn't even have to be officials. The people who believe the narrative that the military-industrial complex is putting out there, like you see on Twitter, regular people are going to go do the work for the ruling class.
Yeah, always. They always send the poor, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, Ron, you have anything you want to add to that before we wrap up? I know CJ got to go here soon.
No. I got to go myself. I'm just enjoying this, man. I'm just enjoying this shit. I'm tired as hell, okay?
Yeah. All right, so
I'm just gonna say this is probably not gonna be the last stream on it. I'm sure some more things were gonna happen, and we'll probably do a segment. It might not gonna be the whole show, but it'll probably do another segment just to do updated. But anything, Nick, you were gonna say something before I interrupted.
I'm so hyped for this, guys. September 10th. I have a debate.
Wait, September or November? November.
November. Sorry, November 10th.
Damn, nigga.
In 8 days. I'll say damn 10 months. But anyway, I have a debate with this conservative. I don't know him. Maybe he's big. He got like 20,000 followers on Twitter. We were supposed to be debating policing.
Oh Lord!
Oh, conservative want to debate me. So apparently, there's a debate platform. I think Jackson was on it before, where they host all these debates, and they reached out to me. This conservative guy is gonna support the Republican pro-police state position. I cannot wait. Guys, I've been telling you, I've been waiting for this.
That's easy. That's they can do that in your sleep. That's easy.
Yeah, so November 10th. So this year I debated Robbie, I debated Destiny, and I blew the minds of their audience. Apparently this is a big neutral debate platform. So, boy, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear what this police bootlicker had to say to me.
Yeah,
Because
you already know
there's
he's gonna say crime rate. That's
Yep.
all they got.
It's
It's
gonna be
crime rate
Chicago.
going up. That's it.
Chicago.
So this is gonna be my third debate this year. I love I these shows are obviously super fun to do, but I like escaping the echo chamber every once in a while. And my goal is to persuade people. That's why I went down to South Carolina. I was talking to the most conservative people to persuade them. So if I can persuade 20% of whatever this neutral audience is to support our position on policing, that's great. That's why I love.
Nick, maybe you should start doing like once a month, do a debate show, and we could I'll make a graphic where you say anybody who wants to volunteer who wants to debate.
Dude, I'll be asking on Twitter, bro. These people are pussy, bro.
I have people submit.
People that talk all this shit. Like, Nick is a secret right winger. Nick is not a real leftist. Nick is a fraud. And I'm like, bro, debate me on this. Then the motherfuckers go radio silence. It happens so many times. But anyway, Ron, what were you about to say?
No, I was just saying they'd rather troll you than actually than talk to you. They'd rather talk about you. Anything, you know. But
that boy Voss ran away.
Yeah.
Well, all these people be running away. They be talking shit. I'm like, bro,
they ain't really trying to do
and
that.
they are gone. But anyway, that's my announcement. Also gonna Hugh Anthony and Mene and Glenn Greenwald had a show on Call-In. I'm gonna fill in for Glenn for a little while his husband recovers. So I'm gonna be on their show on Thursday.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
What's the name of Q show? They had Q and Glenn had a pretty big show on Call-In, and Q also extended an invitation to you guys too. Like you want to, you might have us on there too. But anyway, that's tomorrow. I may join him on Call-In tomorrow. I'm considering doing a Call-In tonight. I got a few runs I gotta do. If I have time, I might do a Call-In at 8. If I don't do it tonight, I'm definitely do it tomorrow because I want to hear you. I literally want to hear from you guys.
All right, I might jump in. You say 8 o'clock.
Yeah, around that time. I'm thinking of. I'm gonna grab something to eat. Fresh myself up, handle a few runs, and I'll probably jump on Call-In. Make sure you guys subscribe to Revolutionary Discourse on Call-In. There are a lot of great conversations that we have, and you guys see the super chats. Like I love our Call-In because whenever, like last time I was on Call-In, we had like 120 people, and it was like I had a panel like 10 people of our community. We just fire. So make sure you subscribe to Revolutionary Discourse. More content coming your way. But Rome, CJ, what you guys have?
Nope, none. Y'all have a nice day. I'm about to go chill out. Give me some.
All right, so we're gonna leave you with this same video, Marlon Brando. This is pretty fire, Marlon Brando. Like this video on your way out. Join our Substack. If you just now catching this and you're like, damn, I missed it live, join our Substack so you can get notifications. Generally 30 minutes to 2 hours before we go live. Join our Substack. Also subscribe to us. That was the count before the show started. So if you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. And we're going to leave you with this outro video.
Quite. It just simply doesn't apply. And we were the most rapacious, aggressive, destructive, torturing, monstrous people who swept from one coast to the other, murdering and causing mayhem among the Indians